8.
Seminars January 19th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss 5:30, stop smoking 8 p.m. Or January 21st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
The Pacers head to the Big Apple to face the New York Knicks. Tonight at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hannah complained of a headache. It was a rhabdomyosarcoma. The tumor was very aggressive. And it very quickly became clear that St. Jude was the ultimate place to be. St. Jude is an asset to the world. I think it's the kind of place that could teach the world a couple of lessons about how to treat people. If those lessons could be learned, this world could be a better place.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
What in the hell do you think you're doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
And again, it's picked up. It's Darius Leonard. A pick six for the Maniac. Touchdown, INDY. Yes, sir.
Out of the chicken. Double time.
Myles Turner.
Yeah.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Let's get this thing started on a Wednesday. Thank you very much for joining us. Got a big show for you, too. You know, we'll dive into, again, yesterday, and I owe a lot of people calls from yesterday because we just simply did not have enough time to get everybody on. And if you remember when I told you at the end of the show, if you're hanging on and you want the first right to jump on here, you certainly can. And we'll do that. And we'll get to that and more of the Ballard stuff and any of this coaching. And I know that Bubba Ventrone's interviewed within this team as the special teams coordinator. I know many have suggested that he should have been the interim head coach. Anyway, seriously, if you're Jim Irsay and you really wanted to throw Jeff Saturday in there, and you weren't going to listen to what anybody said, and you wanted to do that for the entirety of a season, there is no way that should have gone down the way that it did. And you should have hired somebody or put somebody in there from the current staff. But it's water under the bridge now. What are you going to do about that? We'll talk about that coming up, see if any other breaking news happens during the show. Follow some things of interest, I'm sure, regarding Jim Harbaugh. It's interesting. Carolina lobbed him a call last week. Denver has interest. Does the interest lie here, if there is any interest? And if there is any interest, or both sides keeping this thing on the relative down low, which often does not occur. Do that coming up in just a bit, too. Bottom of the hour, Chris Denari. I'm going to state this as I stated it last week before the Pacers went to Philadelphia and prior to us learning that Joel Embiid was not going to play. I love watching the Pacers play. I love hoop in general. Love watching the Pacers play. I try not to get overly excited. And it's not because, well, you're just an old crusty man and you're going to be crusty about something. I'm not trying to be crusty about it. I just know from experience that when I get fired up about something, that normally that something doesn't turn out the way that you want, or that something disappoints. And I don't want this something disappointing. Because we want to see this team go to New York, and you have this conversation going on about what Wally Zerbiak said about Haliburton, and we can revisit that, and I'm sure that both Chris Denari and Quinn and JJ and everybody for at least a moment will revisit that coming up on the Bally Sports Pacer pregame later on tonight. I thought more than anything else, it was incredibly silly and really stupid And here's why. It was silly because it was just a silly thing to say. It sounded like a dude that hasn't watched somebody play. And it was really stupid because it sounded like a smart guy that either had been told or felt compelled that he had to be the shake your fist and hot take it, stir it up guy. And that just wasn't and is not and won't be his MO. That's not going to be him. It just was awkward. It's what? Wait a minute. Where did this come from? I mean, normally you would get that with somebody that already had a reputation and maybe a bit of a, how should I put this, a holic reputation, which obviously Tyrese Haliburton has zero. Tyrese Haliburton did not politic at all, not a peep, regarding the NBA All-Star team. He has just kept quiet, kept focused, and been the epicenter of this team and their winning exploits so far this season. So it made zero sense. So really, outside of that, it is really, as I mentioned earlier, all very silly. But here's what you did witness. And here's what we talk about all the time. It's these guys at this level. You just don't all of a sudden show up at a professional level of anything and struggle with being non-competitive. So these guys are constantly, and we're talking about the best of the best, especially in the NBA, the most talented, the most athletic of the most talented and the most athletic. It is amazing. You ever get a chance to go to a Pacer game and you sit low? If you go all the time, you know this. If you sit low, you know this. Watching these guys move so athletically and effortlessly is ridiculous. At that height and that weight, it's ridiculous. So this is the best of the best, and sometimes even the best of the best needs a little bit of a helper, needs a little bit of a motivation. And when I talk to young guys all the time on this show, and I've done this forever, there is normally going to be a question regarding a motivational chip. And in fact, I've talked to Tyrese Haliburton before, and part of his was not getting that love, for example, from Wisconsin, was battling with those in his own state, battling to make a name for himself. So it was clear, even at that point, he had that motivational chip. And what that delivered, if you go back to the last time these two teams met, being the Knicks and the Pacers, is that delivered for Tyrese Haliburton thereafter a great deal of motivation. You saw that Boston game. You saw that Miami game, career high. That really picked him up, and oftentimes in just an incredibly long, and I mean a marathon of an NBA season, you're going to need bits and pieces like that. So here's what I would do. We laughed at it because it was funny. We made fun of it because it was stupid. But you probably should embrace it more than anything else because it has been helpful. It has been very helpful. And not only that, but it's been helpful in terms of those that, are voting on, those that have interest in the NBA All-Star game. It's kind of opened a lot of eyes to, wait a minute. So why did this guy say that? Why did this New York guy say that? And then opened your eyes a little bit to the play of Tyrese Haliburton. And the reason why I bring this up is because obviously you have the Pacers and the Knicks coming up later on tonight at Madison Square Garden. At tip time is at 7. Pre-game show is right here at 6:30. But there is also now a podcast with Adrian Wojnarowski where he brings up a couple of different things. It's a long-form podcast, but a couple of different things, including that motivation of that Zerbiak moment. And it's not like Haliburton has said much about it, and he hadn't talked to Wally Zerbiak. Wally Zerbiak went on TV on whatever that is that MSG Network or whatever it is? Yes Network? I'm sorry, I don't think the MSG Network exists any longer. Yes? I believe that covers the Knicks. At any rate, he felt compelled to apologize. And again, it was an awkward moment for a dude that is not used to being that guy. Living in a world now, especially in modern day media, where you have every other guy is a clown acting like that. Like the ones who try to keep it between the lines and aren't shaking their fist and yelling and screaming and stomping and throwing a fit, i.e. grifting you. That's the exception to the rule. Those that don't do that now, everybody's doing this. Everybody's got an opinion on absolutely everything. I mean, it's stupid. It really is. But that's just where we are. And Zerbiak got caught up in that. Got caught up in trying to be something that he isn't. But I cannot wait to see the response. And again, as I measured this out last week against Philly, I don't want to get too excited for a January regular season game because oftentimes you do, I can't wait to watch this. The end result is not great. But believe me, this team has so rarely disappointed so far this year, it's tough to hide it. And it's tough not to feel that way. And you have now discovered this. Even the most hardcore of the blow it up, of the reboot, of the tank, even of the most hardcore knobs that still want to see this team do that for whatever reason. If you're a Pacer fan or in general a fan of good hoops, fun basketball, you have also been a little bit taken by this. Now this is something where you find yourself looking ahead going, all right, well, wait a minute. Where am I going to be coming up on Friday and Saturday? Where am I going to be on Saturday when Ja Morant comes to town? Where are we going to be? Now you're starting to set your schedule for it. It's like folks in the past, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. I know some of you still do. It's not like that Mike Woodson and company are giving you a great deal of motivation to want to set your schedule and your calendar to whenever they play. And by the way, they play coming up later on tonight at Penn State. It's becoming increasingly difficult for you to do that or be motivated to do that. But you know what I'm talking about. Didn't do it a year ago. Probably didn't do it a year before that. When's the last time that you thought, oh, wait a minute, I want to look ahead and make sure that I'm around to be able to watch this? And I know things are different. I mean, hell, half of you are probably watching it on your phone wherever you are at that moment. But the Pacers have become interesting to watch, fun to watch. The Pacers have become an organization with that in mind, very young, that is winning games and surprising, and really among the bigger surprises in the NBA. I was trying to think about that the other day. Among the bigger surprises in the NBA, you would have to suggest, right, both West and East, that those that were involved in that trade deadline deal a year ago would be at the top of the list. As we talk about the Pacers and the Sacramento Kings. Probably both would be at the top of that list. Now, the Kings did some other things, too, to motivate. They get Kevin Huerter out of Atlanta, bring him to Sacramento. And a good scoring group there with Fox. Obviously, you add Sabonis to that mix as well. You have to draft Keegan Murray, the rookie out of Iowa. I think Malik Monk is up there playing pretty well off the bench for Sacramento. But honestly, the two biggest surprises, arguably, to this point in the NBA would be these two teams that were directly involved in that trade deadline deal of a year ago. But this thing has evolved into something now to where all of a sudden you're going to look ahead at the calendar and go, okay, where am I going to be for that Grizzlies game? Where am I going to be on Friday night when they get the Hawks here in town again? Now, that's a Trae Young night right there, Ja Morant. As we've mentioned before. So that's what the Pacers are doing right now. And it would seem that for a lot of you that tonight would be one of those nights. Madison Square Garden, tough matchups across the board, don't get me wrong. Jalen Brunson can score in buckets. That free agent acquisition out of Dallas And I'm assuming that's why Zerbiak got into that whole stupid conversation in the first place, is because he was kind of propping up his guy and then trying to downplay, the deservability, if you will, of Haliburton. And then you get all mixed up in a world that you're not normally a part of, and you come out looking like a horse's ass to the rest of the world, and then you got to apologize for it, and it's really stupid. But beyond the game, just the motivation for a single player and where they can get that is always stunning to find out. And in this case with Haliburton, and we'll play some clips back from that Wojnarowski podcast in case you haven't heard. Some interesting stuff from Tyrese Haliburton. And Tyrese Haliburton and the Pacers get the Knicks coming up later on tonight. Again, that is at 7 o'clock. 6:30, your coverage begins, and Chris Denari of Bally Sports Indiana will be a part of that call, television-wise. He joins us coming up at the bottom of the hour. Kevin Bowen on the morning show. Kevin and Query normally goes at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday. Move it up to 4 o'clock on this particular Wednesday. We're going to talk about yesterday with Chris Ballard. I'll share my thoughts. I got a couple of absolutes here. I developed a couple of absolutes. If it is going to be now a foregone conclusion, you're going to move forward, and it's going to be well past just this year. But if it's a foregone conclusion, you're moving forward with Chris Ballard as the general manager, then you're going to have to do some things. And we talked yesterday how Chris Ballard, is he going to be capable of doing some different things, not following that blueprint, that plan that has, in terms of a title track of a Talking Head song, has led them on a road to nowhere. Unless you're talking about that somewhere being losing. Because that's exactly where they've been. And again, this big plan, this grand scheme, these best laid plans have failed, as Ballard put it yesterday, miserably. Is he going to be able to, and I hesitate to call it this because it's really not outside the box thinking. It is thinking that the rest of the NFL does. Chris Ballard has done the outside the box thinking, and that's what has failed miserably. You got to build it here. I believe in my heart that this is where you build on both sides of the football. Well, that's great. But 6 years later, these guys that you have made decisions on and put in those positions to become the foundations of this team, many of which have failed you miserably, and certainly the results in a results-driven league have failed you miserably. So can he be different? Can he do things differently? Can he get away from what has been his staple in the nuts and the bolts of building a team? I'm very skeptical about it, but again, I'm coming at you from an angle where I'm skeptical about the whole thing. As I've mentioned, we got 6 years, and we've seen what's taken place in 6 years. You're getting not a soft reboot whatsoever right now, considering the circumstances. New coach, new quarterback. If you're doing this thing right, if you're not doing it right, then who knows what the hell it might be. But if you're doing it right, you're going to have those. And I'm thinking, right, I'll just reboot coach, general manager, same clock, move forward. But clearly that is not going to happen. So you're asking me right now, so what are these absolutes you believe? These absolutes are, one, as we talked a little bit about yesterday, you have to give yourself the best chance. And I know that I'm going to simplify it here, and I absolutely know that it's not that simple. But I'm just telling you what I believe that they have to do. You have to find a path to get number one overall. You have to find a path to understand what you want and be able to go out and get it. That is what you have to do. I don't know if they're going to have enough to do it, again, because there are going to be other teams that want to do the same thing. But you hear all the time about how far this organization will go, and if that means trading active players, if that means looking forward and trading picks, you have to find what you want. Now, granted, maybe what they want is further down, and then you even more so have me as a non-believer. But simply put, you have to have every option available, and you have to create that now. So in terms of the NFL draft coming up in the spring, that's, to me, what you have to do, and you're going to have to be better than everybody else. Everybody else that probably has more sufficient assets to deal with moving forward probably can offer something better, or, maybe at least pick-wise offer something better. I don't know. Maybe try to woo Matt Eberflus and company over with some of the guys that he used to coach up down here. Really doesn't matter because we found out what really matters. Yeah, no, building on either side of the football, that's fantastic. Having Chris Ballard get here and say it can't be about one guy. Holy hell, we have found out what. It is so about one guy, it's crazy. The ultimate team sport, which is football, is so in the NFL most of the time about one guy. That is the reason why these guys get paid like crazy. That one guy gets paid like crazy. That one guy gets protected, unless you're a guy that's not very good, being that one guy. That one guy gets protected like crazy. They constantly create new rules to help create that one guy. So that's what you need, and you need to give yourself the best path to do just that, to have all these decisions at your fingertips. And I really don't want to hear anything else. Do you? You want to hear anything else? Because I don't. I will equate that to if this whole Ballard decision did come down in any shape or form to finances. I don't want to hear that at all. I know, not my money, but I don't want to hear it. I don't think you want to hear it because we consistently hear way too much about how money is no object. We consistently hear about this is what matters, and I am going to make this great for you, for the fans, for Indy. And that's well beyond the whole all chips in quote. I don't want to hear anything about that. I don't want to see you get beat constantly over the course of a season and then take a beating in the offseason too. Enough would be enough. And again, I'm incredibly skeptical about it, but enough would be enough at that point. So give them an offer that will blow them away. With whatever Ryan Poles said of the Bears yesterday, day before, whatever. Yeah, find something that will, quote, blow them away. And the other is, and there are some out there that are absolutely against it. And that's cool. That's all right. But it makes you wonder, doesn't anybody else out there wondering why? Wondering why you haven't heard anything regarding Jim Harbaugh and the Colts? Is it because he has zero interest here? Wants nothing to do with an owner meddling, wants nothing to do with a 6-year now general manager that has failed in what he has put together? And you don't want to have to mess with that? Does it have anything to do with wanting to start new with a quarterback or the roster that you look at right now that may not look up to what you hope it might be? Now listen, there are plenty of reasons right there in the negative as to why we could be critical of this and understand why Jim Harbaugh would not want to be a part of this. Or is it something different? Is it just kind of on the down low? Is it quiet? Are they keeping a great secret? Or as we said in Southern Indiana, a great big secret? Normally, in these cases, these secrets cannot be kept. But you haven't heard anything. You've heard a Zoom meeting with Denver. And, of course, the new Denver ownership with Walmart money. They're throwing money around and making it rain in Denver right now to try to reel in their next head coach to inspire a fan base that, much like the Colts fan base, much like you, lacked inspiration a year ago. But, you got the albatross of the Russell Wilson contract hanging around their neck. Then you got Carolina reaching out to him. So Yeah, where's the interest here? Why haven't we heard anything? And I'm sorry, yesterday I brought up the Tom Pelissero report. We actually played it from the Dan Patrick Show, where Dan Patrick asked him yesterday, Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network, has Jim Harbaugh received any interest from the Colts? Because I think everybody out there knows, right, that this would be a great fit, a great connection, at least on the surface. And he suggested that Jim Harbaugh likes Jeff Saturday and he was waiting around. I don't believe that at all. Do you? So what do you believe? It is just a hugely, incredibly great kept secret so far, or there is just zero interest on the Harbaugh side to investigate anything here. Because make no mistake, the Colts better have already been out to this. You talk about a mammoth cut in the batting cage. Any baseball players out there back in the day? Take some mammoth cuts. You better do that. That's where it starts. Like, great, all these names. And, you know, are you talking about Ben Johnson, or are you talking about Aaron Glenn or Raheem Morris? And I'm sure these guys, and who knows, these guys may all be great coaches one of these days, but right now, does that float anybody's boat? Not really. Not really. So which side is it here? We'll revisit that coming up in a bit, too. Kevin Bowen coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Paul Corsaro, they are in the top 25 for the first time in a while. UIndy, we talked to Coach Corsaro a couple of different times about that squad and how well that they've been playing. And Paul's going to join us coming up at the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour. They got some important home dates coming up on Indy's South Side. I want to spread the love for hoop, in which I love, and the high level of hoop that is being played on the South Side off of Hannah. And that's UIndy head coach Paul Corsaro coming up at 4:30. I don't know if he's gotten back with me yet. I don't think so. I'm trying to get Brian Evans on here because I want to talk up IU and Penn State from a former player's standpoint about what they have witnessed over the course of the last month, and I'm assuming that's not good. But you talk about an important game. If this IU team goes out there tonight at Penn State and looks like a big pile of crap, this is a big one. I know it's Penn State. I know that they just got through, losing at home to Northwestern, but that whole thing with Mike Woodson has been losing a great deal of steam. Talk about something that you're going to have to rebuild and frame up once again for IU fans to believe it. It didn't take very long, did it? Is this true? Can you look those numbers up? Is this IU team through this point in Big Ten play with Mike Woodson the same as they were with Archie? Is that true? Somebody told me that. I didn't look it up. I hate to bring that era up too, but yeah, that's not going well for IU right now either. Big one in Penn State, 6 o'clock. Is that coverage time or is that tip time, 6 o'clock at Penn State? Do you know downstairs at WIBC? If that's a tip time, that means that 5 o'clock, I don't want you to bail, so don't worry about it. We'll make sure we get you there for the game call with our good friend Don Fisher in time. 6 o'clock downstairs on WIBC. All right, I owe a bunch of people some calls. We'll get to that coming up in just a little bit, too. Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live, I'm looking for the camera, and I swear it's right there in my face. Shout out to Indiana State. My Sycamores, win streak, Southern Illinois at the Holman Center later on tonight. A win streak at Ball State came to an end, but still a shout-out on a fantastic season to date for first-year head coach Michael Lewis. Get to that. Butler last night. And Butler fans are going, yeah, don't even bring that up. That thing looks like an absolute mess. They have some mind-numbing turnovers. They have some pickup game turnovers, which you don't want to have in the Big East in January. You don't want pickup game turnover. They had some bad. Actually, if you watch the stretch of that game in the second half, both St. John's and Butler had some really bad pickup game turnovers. You don't want that. Get to that coming up a little bit later on as well. All right, 239-1070. Email address JMV at 1075thefan.com. You got us on HD Radio, the stream, the app, Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live. I'm going to check in with folks coming up in a minute. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Indy's #1 for new country.
I got some famous friends. Nobody plays more new country. 97.1 Hag FM.
Culver's could have only started in Wisconsin.
Hi, welcome to Culver's.
Just ask our team member, Sarah.
When you order a Culver's Butterburger, you're never just a customer. You're a guest in our home. See, where we come from, people do right by each other. It's why we cook each Butterburger to order just for you, right down to getting the perfect sear on the beef. That extra care may be a small town thing, but it's big time important to us.
Come on in and let us serve you with a smile that stretches from our hometown to yours. Welcome to Delicious. To everyone who appreciates a fresh meal that comes from the heart, let our team member Emma tell you what's special about the Culver's Way.
We take great tasting burgers seriously in Wisconsin. Favorite recipes, fresh ingredients, real Wisconsin cheese. It's a place where traditions matter. So of course it's where Culver's Butterburger was born. Fresh, never frozen beef, seared to perfection, then topped with a lightly buttered toasted bun.
What can we say? To us, it's a whole lot more than a burger. It's a taste of home.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Hey, it's John here, and I want to prop up Joe Childers in the 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. Hey, make sure that your car, truck, or van, it is winter road ready. Tires, brakes, brake pads. You got to make sure that coolant exchange is also being worked this time of year, and oil changes as well. Stay after. I want you to squeeze out all the miles possible in your ride like I'm doing, and the best way to do it is to make sure you maintain. And that's the 14 Central Indiana CarX locations run by Joe Childers. The absolute best and a way to get all, and I mean it all, out of your car, truck, or van. Maintain winter road readiness at your local CarX today. To find that location nearest you, it's CarX.com.
Are you dealing with foot, knee, hip, or back pain? We can help. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and I want to talk about your discomfort. Did you know that your feet have a quarter of all the bones in your whole body? With 4 arches, 33 joints, and over 100 ligaments and tendons in each foot, it's no wonder so many people suffer from foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Stop throwing your money away on all those over-the-counter products and expensive shoes that just can't do what the Good Feet store can. At America's Arch Support Store, we teach you everything you need to know about how our patented 3-step system will work to solve your problems so you can get back to living the life you love without your pain getting in the way. Come in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk and trade in those bad feet for some good feet. Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options at the Good Feet store. We're in Fishers and Greenwood. Call 829-1040 or visit goodfeet.com to make your appointment today. Get back to doing what you love with Arch Supports from the Good Feet store.
My name is Kayla Cinders, and I work for Gleaners Food Bank. I am a local service manager for 3 counties in our 21-county service area, and I nominated Katie.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are proud to support Hoosier charities that use their vehicles to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
My name is Katie Wilkerson. I pick up at the mobile food pantries. The best part of volunteering to hand someone some food and see the smile on their face, the relief. Without my vehicle, there's no way I'd be able to do this. To go to any of the pantries, it's at least 18 miles.
Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides all of our Do More winners with free vehicle maintenance for a year. Because now at Jiffy Lube, our trained technicians do more to keep vehicles like theirs and yours on the road. Brakes, tires, batteries, and more. As well as Indiana's favorite oil change since 1985.
Jiffy Lube accepts competitors' coupons, so you don't have to choose between saving a few dollars versus treating your vehicle to Jiffy Lube's award-winning service. Click on JiffyLubeIndiana.com for a Jiffy Lube near you.
Hey, it's JMV for my guys John and Chris Love at Love Heating and Air Conditioning. Predictions are this could be a colder winter than normal, and you need to make sure your furnace is safe, efficient, and working properly before you have a breakdown on a sub-zero day. Get that recommended service right now from Love Heating and Air Conditioning, and the Love family will waive the $95 trip and diagnostic fee. I trust them, so should you. They're the best. Love-HVAC.com or 317-754-0754. Tell them JMV sent you.
Hey, Indy. Tim Pearson here, founder of Chattanooga Whiskey, the only Tennessee high malt. Chattanooga Whiskey 91 is an award-winning small batch bourbon crafted from 4 grains, including 3 specialty malts for a distinctly rich and complex character. Drink Chattanooga Whiskey. Enjoy responsibly.
Turn up the heat with a bowl of brisket chili or green chili chicken soup to celebrate National Soup Month at Twin Peaks. Plus, get ready for the Twin Peaks Big Game Pre-Promotion January 12th. Show up early, cash out quarterly. The first 100 fans to show up for the big game on Sunday get a free square for the chance to win a Twin Peaks gift card at the end of every quarter. Plus, every fan scores free chips and queso just for showing up. Contact your favorite store for more information on availability and offers.
Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Need new tires? Skip the long appointments and bad coffee. With Go Mobile Tires Indy, order tires online and have them installed at your home or office. GoMobileIndy.com. We come to you.
It has no beginning.
The start of something special right here, man. Let's go.
And no end.
Look, you got to get your team ready to play.
It is a constant.
Get a rhythm going.
Through every season.
Come back again.
It is always Colts season. Firing, hiring, free agency, the combine, the schedule, the draft, OTAs, minicamp, training camp, kickoff. The offseason questions is a season to be answered for this Colts team. The best Colts coverage is on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Can I buy you guys a drink? Guess not.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Yeah, welcome back to the show. Tomorrow, Pearl Street, Oleo Road. We are going to be up in Fishers tomorrow. Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots. That is coming up tomorrow. Again, 3 until 6. And our betting analyst, Brent Holverson, I'd love to see you up there. Our Super Wild Card Weekend, Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna Azul Tequila Shots. Sevens writes this: the Wolverine job is much better than the Colts. It depends on how you look at it, man. What if you're sick and tired of blanking around with NIL and the transfer portal? And you've gone and been a part of that Final Four, those semifinal games the past couple of years. And then you look what's going on in the SEC still. I mean, I don't know if you can honestly say that. I know around here you've also got a blanking around factor too. Don't get me wrong. But you got some stuff that may be within your control, Sevens, here. And it better be within your control. You got that here. In college football, college athletics, you may have to ask around. We'll get back to that point in a second. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, staked out in NYC. Got a little garden party later on tonight with the Pacers and the Knicks. Bally Sports Indiana comes at you with the pregame coverage at 6:30. 7 is that tip time. The voice of the Pacers is Chris Denari. A little more geeked up for this than usual?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's the start of the second half of the year. Pacers have been one of the surprise teams in the NBA. I've caught up today, I think, in all of my NBA podcasts, and I heard you talking about the Woj podcast with Tyrese, and I listened to that. So, yeah, I think it's going to be exciting. I mean, the Garden is always a special place. I know when I went there for the first time, to do a Pacers game, I had done WNBA games there. It's a special place, and should be a good one tonight. You've got a Knicks team that got beat the other night. They had won 5 straight, I think. And the Pacers have played, their best basketball of the year maybe since the Knicks loss a month ago. They're 8-2, really have found a way to win clutch games. They're 7-1 in the last 8. So, yeah, this should be a real special environment and for the Pacers tonight.
That environment and motivation since that last Knicks matchup, Chris, with you in a second. But I asked this question a little bit earlier. And out west, you probably look at Sacramento. In the east, is it the Pacers? Or are these two teams involved in that trade deadline deal a year ago the most surprising in the NBA as we've reached that halfway part?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and it's benefited both teams. I mean, I was listening to Tyrese with Woj, and we've all talked to Tyrese about it. Just what he's meant to this franchise, and it was tough for him. It's tough for anybody to be dealt, but for Sacramento, they felt they needed a big, and the Pacers got their point guard of now and the future, and I think it has unlocked Myles Turner. I mean, he's had the best year of his career. Haliburton has set him up. One of the things I was looking at, John, in a note that I made, is the amount of paint touches that Myles has had this year, and his ability to score in the paint is as high as it's ever been in the NBA. And you can attribute that to the presence of Tyrese Haliburton. So clearly the trade has benefited both teams. Clearly it's benefited the Pacers in the East. And Sacramento is trying to make its first playoff appearance in, I think, 16 years. So, yeah, those are two teams that I think probably more was expected of Sacramento than it was of Indiana. I think we all know that I think the Vegas number was 22.5 or 23 and the Pacers have already won 23 in the first 41 games. So I think you'd have to say that the biggest surprise in the league at this point has been Indiana.
And Chris Denari, Bally Sports Indiana, voice of the Pacers on the Andy Morrow Automotive Group hotline. Speaking of Myles in this matchup, I believe that the last time out was the last time that 33 did not have a game that now has become expected, I guess, from a lot of people's standpoints for him this season, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's had a number of stretches. I mean, he's on just looking at it right here, he's on an 8-game stretch where he's averaging 20 points and 8 rebounds. And you're right, you go back to that Knicks game, he had just 6 points and 8 rebounds. And that was a game that the Pacers had a 6-point lead in the final 2 minutes and couldn't hold on. And since they are 7-1 in situations like that. So clearly Myles has been a big part of that. He was huge the other night in the comeback in the fourth quarter against Charlotte. He had 12 of his 29, had the huge block shot on Plumlee. Myles, like a lot of the players in this 8-2 record in the last 10, has been a little bit different than they were back in December when they played the Knicks.
Yeah, Brunson had 30 in that game, too. He was like head bob. I think he only went to the free throw line 5 times. My man, head bobs and jerks and twitches trying to get foul calls. He went to the Jimmy Butler, I think, school for trying to get NBA foul calls.
Well, they have guys, John, that can just flat put up points. I mean, Julius Randle in the last 10's at 31. Brunson in the last 5 is at 31, and Emmanuel Quickly is probably playing right now as well as he's played all year. So, yeah, I mean, Brunson was really good. Randall was really good back in Indianapolis, and they'll be a handful for the Pacers tonight.
Yeah, I don't think Barrett didn't play Monday night, I don't think, with the Knicks, did he?
No, he did not. He's missed 6 straight with a lacerated finger. Now, he is listed as questionable, so we'll just have to see if he's available for the Knicks, and he has been a problem for the Pacers. I mean, he's left-handed. I think he's got 6 straight 20-point games when he plays against Indiana. He's got good size, so that'll be something we'll be following here in the next few hours.
Non-COVID-related illness for Aaron Nesmith, who basically since that point in time has really started to pick it up as well. Any expectation? I'm assuming you get on the bus and then on the plane or off the plane on the bus and go to Madison Square Garden thinking that you may play, because if you don't, you get left behind. Is that maybe a good way to look at it, or what's the possibility he participates tonight?
Well, the good news is, John, he was not on the back of the plane with us when TJ McConnell had his non-COVID illness back when we were on that long road trip.
Right,
he was in the very back of the plane with us, with the staff members. And so the good news was yesterday when we flew to New York City, Aaron Nesmith was not among us. So that means he was up front with his teammates. So hopefully that's a good sign that there's a chance that he'll be available tonight.
I love the fact that he's carved out a significant place on this team. Has he not at this point of the season?
Well, let's go back to when the trade happened. I think everybody was enamored that you were getting a first-round pick, and that meant the Pacers coming into 2023 would have 3 first-round picks, their own, Cleveland's, and Boston. And you also had Daniel Tice, who's a veteran center. And, I think a lot of people looked at Aaron Nesmith's numbers over the last 2 years. He averaged 4 points a game. I mean, this is a guy that has gotten an opportunity just like Jalen Smith did a year ago, and he's made the most of his opportunity. And he's given the Pacers somebody alongside Andrew Nembhard in the starting lineup who's an outstanding defender. And so you now have Nembhard and Nesmith who, can guard top-flight players. And so that's been very important. I think they have felt more comfortable with Jalen Smith coming off the bench, backing up Myles Turner. And it's just created some different opportunities for the Pacers rotationally as far as, Rick Carlisle is concerned.
Anything else going into tonight's game that you're interested in watching? I think especially me, I've so overdone the whole Zerbiak thing. I've been hesitant to drop that on you. But beyond that, anything stand out to you as far as matchups of interest at the Garden tonight?
Well, I think the one thing is, as good as Indiana has been in coming back from deficits, I think you still need to get off to better starts. I mean, the other night at home against Charlotte, probably as bad a first quarter as they've played all year with 15 points. They were down 14 early in the second quarter, and yet they came back again and won the game. And they've proven they can do that. They've got 11 comeback wins, when down 10 or more. That's number one in the NBA. They've got 16 clutch wins. That's tied for first in the NBA. All those are very impressive numbers. But you'd like to see them get off to a better start and not have to rely on those solid fourth quarters and those comebacks to win games. So, especially in a place like the Garden, that'll be sold out. Fans are always amped up. You don't want to give the Knicks any opportunity to have a lot of momentum early in the game. So I think that'll be something to watch tonight, is how the Pacers start, especially on this road game.
And after tonight, the Hawks coming up on Friday. That's Trae Young and that squad again. We saw them there not too recently in the past at the Pacer win. And then that one and only time with John Morant and local product Desmond Bane and a very good Grizzlies team on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, they've got Desmond Bane, they've got LaRavia, they've got John Conchar, all players who have Indiana ties. Conchar played at Purdue Fort Wayne. LaRavia, of course, former Sycamore, played at Wake Forest, LC. So yeah, I mean, and I would encourage fans, if you haven't done so for Saturday night in particular, you better work quick to get tickets, because this is a game that I think is easily going to be a sellout. The atmosphere in the building has been just terrific, especially the last month. And it'll be good to see the Pacers at home on Friday and Saturday, because then they've got a road trip next week at Milwaukee, at Oklahoma City, and then a back-to-back at Denver and Phoenix. So there's never any let-up in the schedule, John. You always have to be ready to go. This is a interesting start to the second half of the season. So you have to be thrilled with what you've been able to accomplish. But as Rick Carlisle said, you can't rest on that. You've always got to be ready to go. And so second half of the season starts tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. I love the story of LaRavia. And Desmond Bane, who was on the show this summer as well, half of Wayne County. I'm assuming he's going to be over here coming up on Saturday night to watch him play, and he has been fantastic. And you're watching the evolution of Jaren Jackson Jr., and, it's interesting. This team has been put together in a very unique way, I think. And it all kind of surrounds that level of play that John Morant brings to the table. He's really, he's one of those unique type of athletes that you see in the NBA right now, without question.
Yeah, and I think that's why there's so much excitement in Indianapolis around Tyrese Haliburton. And again, he's a little bit different player than Ja Morant, but he is a dynamic point guard who leads the team in scoring, but also leads the team in assists. And as you look across the NBA, I mean, I look at what the Pacers have done through the draft the last few years, the trades that they've acquired with Nesmith, Jalen Smith, and Haliburton 3 years ago, all were lottery picks. And so you throw in Nembhard, you throw in Mathurin, you throw in Isaiah Jackson and Chris Duarte. Those are 7 young players, and then you've got the veterans in Hield and Turner and McConnell and those guys. That's similar to what Memphis has done. They've built through the draft. Cleveland has built through the draft, and I think that's what Indiana has looked at. And you can see what they've done here early in the year. They're trying to be successful, just like Memphis and Cleveland. At some point, you look at some of these teams. Milwaukee's still very good, and they got maybe the best player on the planet in Giannis. But I was doing some early look at their roster. They're really, really old, and at some point, age will catch up with you. So I think the way the Pacers have done it, they've put themselves in prime position for right now. Also with the opportunity to continue this for a good run into the future.
Pacers Knicks later on tonight. That tip is at 7. Bally Sports, Indiana.
7:30.
7:30. See, yeah. So Eddie put that up there at the pregame, didn't he? God dang it.
7 o'clock pregame, 7:30. So it gives people a good chance to enjoy their dinner. From a TV standpoint, we like that 7:30 or 8.
Yeah, I like it. I'm going to have to tell Eddie the tip time needs to be the tip time, and then we'll figure out what happens 30 minutes earlier in our head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That threw a guy off. I don't have the smarts real good to be able to do that on the fly. So 7:30 is the tip. 7P is your pregame on Bally Sports Indiana, the voice of the Pacers. It is Chris Denari. Hey, enjoy that game later on tonight, and we'll fire you back up here in the near future. Going to be a great weekend.
All right. Thanks, John.
Hey, Chris Denari. See, you got me all flustered now, Eddie. Chris Denari of Bally Sports Indiana. Am I wrong about that? I got two things, and maybe I'm wrong about this too, because you have Pacers at Knicks. This is just me. I would put the tip up there, the tip time up, don't laugh, the tip time up there, and then we'll double back and go 30 minutes prior to the pregame show, like right here on The Fan tonight. And I would put the home team second and not go Pacers at Knicks. I would just have us figure out in our head that the home team is always second.
I just try to make it easy. Pacers at Knicks. That way you don't have to sit there and contemplate if I put Knicks vs. Pacers or whatever.
But you understand the problems that could be with the 7 o'clock Pacers and Knicks, because that's more for us, right? That's more. I'm trying to tell the people what time it tips.
Yeah,
so,
I suppose I can get that, but
I could also look and figure it out myself. So
yeah, I always put up there too what time coverage starts to make it easier on you.
Job well done. It's Eddie Garrison, who just completely screwed up the end of that interview right there in studio with us. So IU Penn State, that is a 6 o'clock pregame downstairs. 7P, the tip from Penn State. State College later on tonight, downstairs on WIBC. All right, I mentioned this regarding Jim Harbaugh. Nothing has been said. Well, now scratch that. Something has been written. Not much, but it's interesting. We'll get to that coming up on the other side. And by the way, from Jeremy Fowler of ESPN as well. That on the other side, Kevin Bowen, top of the hour, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
You've undoubtedly heard of the calm before the storm. Well, Michaelis is the calm after the storm. More than 3 decades of restoring damage from wind, rain, and hail. They've got your back, not to mention your front, side, and roof. It's why home and business owners beat a path to Michaelis' door, because it's always answered around the clock with welcome arms. Your port in the storm. From site security and tarping services to complete restoration work, they can handle anything Mother Nature throws your way. Seasoned and trustworthy pros who are never deterred by a little wind and rain, or a mother load of it for that matter. Water, storms, fire, and foundations. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Don't just cut down, but stop smoking once and for all. Also, lose all the weight and let Mark Patrick Hypnosis destroy your unwanted cravings. Seminars January 19th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss 5:30 p.m., stop smoking 8 p.m. Or January 21st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking 2 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
I have a great spot for you. Pickup basketball is awesome. I love playing, so do you, but it is tough to find that spot on the reg to do it. I got one for you. Noblesville, Hamilton County. Have you heard about it? Pickup USA Fitness. That is in Noblesville. They've got a court ready for you right now, too. And then after 6 o'clock, every single weeknight, and then Saturday mornings, they're going to give you some run that is going to be reffed up. Are you kidding me? That's Pickup USA Fitness in Noblesville. Big gym and, of course, a great place to work out. Now, if you have some of the younger generation that just simply wants to work on their game, they will offer that as well. Those memberships with my friend Scott and the gang up there are available right now. Finally, you have a consistent place to play pickup hoop. That consistent run is at Pickup USA Fitness. Log on today, pickupusafitness.com. That's Pickup USA Fitness, Noblesville. A better way to play. Hey, fellas, need an annual health exam for work, or you just want to prioritize your health this year? I recommend Low T Center to get your complete health assessment. They check all your levels, not just testosterone, and typically completely covered by most health insurance. And if you're not insured, it's less than $100 for full labs and an office visit with the provider. Low T Center specializes in men's health, making it quick and easy. That's lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care. Hey, it's JMV. Sometimes, too many times, bad things happen to good people. Good people get hurt or killed through no fault of their own. That's where Tony Patterson at Parr Ritchie Law Firm can help. Tony understands because he spent his career helping people just like you put their lives back together. He was honored by Best Lawyers as 2020's Indianapolis Personal Injury Lawyer of the Year. See if Tony can help you. The call is free, 317-269-2509, or visit parrinjury.com, Parr injury.com today.
Dan Dockage for Affinity Whole Health. Affinity is the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, and I got to tell you, I see why. Since I started a testosterone replacement program with Affinity, my energy, mental focus, drive, everything is up, and the physical benefits are amazing. Check them out at feelgreatindy.com. Guys, you can improve the way you look, the way you feel. You can build muscle and lose fat. Affinity will give you the roadmap. Go to feelgreatindy.com. That's feelgreatindy.com.
You know how much I love Forum Credit Union, and so should you, for a variety of reasons. You can look at Forum's one checking account, make paying easy. Plus, you can earn cash back on that debit card purchase that you're making consistently, right? You can do that. And you know how much I love our teachers. I love our educators, too. And Forum Credit Union supports educators and students every year by giving $25,000 to local schools and awarding $5,000 in collegiate scholarships that are renewable over 4 years of undergraduate study. Just a couple of the great things that Forum Credit Union has to offer for you, plus many ways constantly to help you budget better, to help you save better. That's Forum Credit Union. Stop by a branch location. Tell them I sent you today, or right now online. That's forumcu.com.
Everyone knows that in Indiana, game time.
Here's a deep three. Haliburton
means family time.
He's got family in Kokomo. That might have been from Howard County.
The Atlanta Hawks come to town this Friday for Lucas Oil Family Night. Family Night tickets start at just $20 and includes a Pacers hat, hot dog, chips, and small Pepsi product. Get your Family Night tickets at Pacers.com/family. That's Pacers.com/family. Pacers, Hawks, Friday at 7.
Home shows provide homeowners the deepest discounts of the year on remodeling projects. And right now, Window Nation is bringing home show savings right into your home. Schedule a free, no-obligation in-home demonstration today and lock in this incredible offer. Get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy with no limit. Plus, pay no interest for 60 months. Imagine the savings in cost and lower energy bills, but you don't just have to imagine how beautiful new Window Nation windows will look on your home. You can see it. Use their free virtual visualizer at windownation.com/home show. Upload a picture of your house and try out hundreds of options online. Get design tips from the experts and learn how Window Nation's trained installation specialists have helped over 150,000 homes with over 96% satisfaction. But remember, these once-a-year home show savings are for a very limited time. Call Window Nation today at 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com/home show. Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy. Pay no interest for 60 months. That's 5 full years. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com/home show.
JMV here for Heaven Hill Distillery and our Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna Azul Tequila Shots. Every Thursday, me and our betting analyst, Brent Halverson, take a deep dive into the weekend that is going to be the NFL. We'll give you our picks, and we call them the Larceny Bourbon Locks and the Luna Azul Tequila Shots. This Thursday, join us for the free samples and all the fun that we have every single Thursday. Larceny Bourbon Locks and a Luna Azul Tequila Shots.
Playoffs are here. This week, join us at Pearl Street Pizzeria in Geist-on-Olio.
The Pacers head to the Big Apple to face the New York Knicks tonight at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Wow. I don't know what to say. I guess the only thing I can say is I'll promise to keep rocking and rolling and making better films.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, welcome back to the show. We got plenty of time for you coming up because as of right now in the 5 o'clock hour, we are free So that's going to be a lot of you and men coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Paul Corsaro, Kevin Bowen coming up in the 4. This was from Jeremy Fowler earlier in the day. One official from a team searching for a head coach believes Harbaugh wants the Colts job. No word yet on whether Harbaugh plans to speak with Indy brass, but the connection is obvious for the former Colts quarterback. That's from Jeremy Fowler. Again, citing one official from a team searching for a head coach believes that Jim Harbaugh wants the Colts job. That is the first that I've heard of any of that. Interesting. That'd make me happy. We'll see. We'll come back with that. Kevin Bowen on the other side as well as Paul Corsaro, head coach of UIndy, bottom of the 4 o'clock hour. This is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
It's Kevin and Query.
The Colts lose another heartbreaker to wrap up the season.
The Colts were trying to win that game, and yet the Colts are so abysmally inept and pathetic that the team that was trying to hold on to the number 1 pick in the draft won. It was such an egregious yet predictable victory over the hapless Colts that their coach still got fired.
Kevin and Query.
Weekday mornings at 7
on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
When you hear Diamonds Direct, it's not just a catchy name designed to give the illusion of value. Our name is who we really are. Diamonds Direct was started by diamond cutters a quarter of a century ago. At our very core is a commitment to cut out the middleman and deliver extreme value in exquisite diamonds. Today, that's more true than ever, with our direct access to diamonds straight from the mines. Diamonds that we then cut and polish. Exquisite diamonds up to 15 and 20 carats in all shapes and sizes. It's an advantage other jewelers only dream of. By overseeing the entire process, we know for a fact Diamonds Direct is truly direct. So this year, as value becomes more important than ever, rest assured that Diamonds Direct's unique status in the world diamond market guarantees you the best no middleman direct importer price, period. And even with this extreme value promise, at Diamonds Direct you still get an unbeatable selection, transparent education, a luxurious shopping experience, superior customer service, no compromises. It's not having a cool name or clever advertising, it's the truth. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. People here are raving about QC Kinetics and how regenerative medicine has changed their life. People like Helen, an avid mountain climber who got sidelined when an accident left her knees in constant pain.
I was not able to train or do really anything on my knee.
Helen was told surgery would be her only option. But then she found QC Kinetics and was treated with natural biologics designed to repair and restore tissue in her knees. 3 months later, she was climbing the highest mountain in North America.
I got a very quick resolution to my pain. I began treatment in March, and I summited Denali June the 7th. It was super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
Get your life back with lasting results. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN.
The Low Post Podcast with Zach Lowe.
Tatum, I think at worst, he's third in MVP right now. He's playing defense at a borderline all-defense level. He's too young for these conversations to really start in earnest. If he's a Celtic for life for most of his career, he has a chance to be historically, for the one of the two historic giants in the league, as great as any player who's ever worn that uniform, including Bird.
Check out the Low Post Podcast on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Knockouts Haircuts for Men is the new place to trust with your hair care and grooming. Knockouts is a high-end full-service salon for men. They pamper you while you relax and enjoy a precision cut. Top-notch stylists and barbers. Every style. Cuts, fades, all hair types. Beard care, color, and waxing available. At Knockouts, get a complimentary beverage with any service. Knockouts Haircuts for Men. 2 Indy locations. US 36 in Avon next to Tropical Smoothie Cafe. And Clearwater Keystone next to Drake's. Walk-ins welcome. Or appointments at 288-0007 or knockouts.com.
Hi guys, it's Mark. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, January 11th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain the spark in your bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is an unprecedented offer worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. Call 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today, Wednesday. 317-552-1111.
The Butler Bulldogs host Villanova this Friday and Creighton on Tuesday the 17th. 7 p.m. tip-off both nights. Visit butlersports.com/buy tickets and get to Hinkle for Big East play.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB. WIBC HD3 W228CX. Indianapolis.
The Pacers head to the Big Apple to face the New York Knicks. Tonight at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Let me have a Diablo sandwich, a Dr. Pepper, make it fast. I'm in a damn hurry.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Let me tell you this, Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live. If not for just the great content and entertainment value on a daily basis, if I were you, I would get in there because I basically misspell everything. There is nobody, and I mean nobody, that is worse at texting. I am screwing everything up. I don't think I've actually posted one time in here where I have not spelled something wrong. And it's not because I'm spelling it wrong, it's because I hit the wrong key. But there's plenty of entertainment. And of course, you heard Sean Rogers call in yesterday with what he would feel is an epic phone call and his epic take on Myles Turner. But that's okay, though. The entertainment's Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live, and part of that entertainment, I would have to think, I'm like the opening act. Like my misspelling, because I'm participating right with everybody. I'm right in there with everybody. I'm right in there getting some. I misspell everything. Everything. I actually just misspelled something that everybody took it the wrong way. But that is part of the entertainment value you get Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live. College hoop entertainment tonight. My Indiana State Sycamores, a 4-game win streak, a team they've already beaten once this season. Hopefully they do it again tonight at Terre Haute at the Holman Center. That's Southern Illinois. The Salukis up for Carbondale at Indiana State. Tips at 7, Eddie Garrison. Indiana and Penn State, that tip from State College tonight is at 7. You know the situation of IU. You go over there and look terrible tonight. There's going to be some issues. After that Northwestern debacle, there were already issues. There are going to be even more. 7P tonight for that. Evansville, Bradley, also participating this evening. Butler, yeah. Butler looked like a team that rarely has played together. I guess Thad's first year, you bring in a lot of guys out of the program. They look like they were playing pickup basketball with St. John's in the second half. And not a good brand of it either. Pacers Knicks tonight. Pre-game show here at 7. That tip is at 7:30 from Madison Square Garden. And, of course, Ballard from yesterday and the Jeremy Fowler report. I hesitate to say report. It was just like a bit in an overall report that he had. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN stating that somebody that is involved in a coaching search, an official in the NFL, had told him that Jim Harbaugh, wants to come here to coach the Colts. Dive into that now with Kevin Bowen, the morning show. Kevin and Query, 7 until 10 a.m. here on The Fan. That may give me the ultimate sports arousal, or at least one that I've had significant in a long time, if that be true. You buy into any of it?
So I had not heard that. Is there... So you said nothing like a report?
Yeah, there's not a great deal of context around it. So I hesitate to bring it up, I guess, just because it's a conversational piece for us both right here. But there's not a lot. Here it is again. One official from a team searching for a head coach believes Harbaugh wants the Colts job. No word yet on whether Harbaugh plans to speak with Indy brass, unless this thing is just like wrong. But this is what this says here. But the connection is obvious, and obviously they go back to him being the quarterback here. But that went through. I guess an article from ESPN, and Jeremy Fowler had a bullet point possibly connecting Jim Harbaugh to the Colts. That is what it is. And that was from, I'll give credit, Landon Oliver, who is from the At the Blue Stable. You know what that is? And I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. I don't know what that is. And a shout out to Landon, because I'm sure it's great. I don't get out very much. I think everybody else knows that. So At the Blue _Stable, who's had that. So all credit to Landon Oliver, who unearthed that tidbit.
Yeah, you're just trying to spell things correctly in the YouTube chat.
Oh man, it's not working out either. I go back and I go, man, I didn't even mean to cuss here, and I'm cussing and everything else.
Yeah, things can be interpreted a lot of different ways.
My keys are too close together. I got big thumbs.
You and I, usually when you and I are texting, it's just like, hey, 9:03 Sunday. I mean, usually just says like 9:03 Sunday.
9:03 is what I say.
For my bullseye event interviews with you. Yeah, the whole Harbaugh thing, John, has been really weird to me.
Yes.
I think you could read a lot of it to be agent-driven. Obviously, the press release was super odd, and if I were a Michigan fan, would have clarified nothing, and honestly probably made me feel a little bit more skeptical about him staying there really for the 2023 season and beyond. I mean, if you look at his contract in college, it is wild. He does not make more money, considering how much these college coaches make. I mean, hell, Mel Tucker at Michigan State's making more than him.
Well, I think he had to give some back here a year or so ago, right? Didn't he have to give some back?
Did he? Why?
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just maybe making stuff up at this point to try to get him here. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, and
I thought he had to give. I thought he had to give a little bit of salary up, and he had to spread it around for assistant coaches. Did I dream that?
Well, even if that's true, again, that's kind of a Michigan issue. I mean, if you're going to have Jim Harbaugh be your head coach, you better be paying him top dollar, paying his assistant, top dollar as well. And it's Michigan. I mean, we're not talking about some little plucky Cinderella story that has struck gold for a couple of seasons. It's a program that stadium speaks for itself. Denver and their pursuit of him, from a financial sense, obviously it is massive with the Walton family, and you have connections within that organization. John Elway, from a Stanford standpoint, that would be one of them. Condoleezza Rice is in their ownership group. That's a Stanford connection as well. I thought when Arizona came open, and I saw that they kind of entered the Sean Payton sweepstakes. I mean, they are the only opening. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're the only opening that also has the GM open.
Yes.
So if you're Sean Payton or Jim Harbaugh and you want personnel control, and you have any sort of Kyler Murray infatuation, maybe that would be a path that you would explore. The biggest question I've always had here is, if he's here, what does that mean for Chris Ballard?
Well, if that is any bit of a speed bump and or a roadblock, I may implode right here on the air.
Yeah, which is totally understandable. Well, please don't do that. No,
I will try not to, but I may implode right here on the air.
Trying to find permanent for noon to 3. We don't need to try and find 3 to 6 as well. So I guess I've just been confused by Harbaugh, and it probably is par for the course of who he is as a human. I think he's kind of a difficult one to crack. And right now, you can interview him. This is the time where all the candidates that have been mentioned for the Colts so far, I think there's 6 in total, they all can interview this week, because either none of them are involved in the playoffs, or Shane Steichen's the Eagles OC, and they have a bye. And Harbaugh, of course, could interview at any time and has already interviewed with Denver. So it's just been an odd process. And that typically probably is the case with college coaches, but I feel like with Harbaugh, it's been even odder.
I'd agree with you on this. I put it this way. Even before I saw that tidbit from Jeremy Fowler, Kev, I thought, is it that he wants zero to do with it, doesn't want to come down here because the meddling of the owner, because there's still going to be going into a 7th year sitting general manager that, according to the general manager yesterday, has failed because of where they are going into a new era with a quarterback here at some point, again, a young quarterback? Or is it just an incredibly well-kept secret that rarely happens in terms of anything NFL and certainly around here? Which side would you be on if I presented that question to you?
I mean, it seems like the Harbaugh camp is pretty open to leaking things right now. You know, the Carolina side of it, and I'm paraphrasing here, and I wish I had the exact language on it, but basically Carolina said that Dave Tepper, their owner, finally met with Harbaugh because after convincing from the Harbaugh camp, something along those lines. And then, did you see the Tom Pelissero one yesterday about Harbaugh is waiting on Indianapolis because he doesn't want to step on Jeff Saturday's toes?
That made zero sense to me. We actually played that clip back, and he's a good dude, but that made zero sense to me. Why would that be?
Yeah. Obviously, they have no overlap here, playing-wise.
No.
I mean, Saturday got here in, 99? And you would know better than I, but I don't think there's a big Ring of Honor reunion each year. Like, let's all get together and play golf and stay at
There's
Jim
not.
Lake House.
There's not.
No, I don't think there's anything along those lines. So I don't know where the Harbaugh Jeff Saturday connection would be. So yeah, again, I'm just really confused by it. I mean, Chris Ballard wants things to be a steel trap. I mean, he does not want things to get out, but you've got agents and you've got other parties involved in this that have different agendas, and it's why you see all these reports get out of coaching candidates that are being interviewed. And if Michigan, or if Harbaugh's agent, which I assume he does, wants any sort of contractual impact for his client, he's going to leak that. And it already leaked in Denver. It already leaked in Carolina. So I would think if there would be or is contact with Indianapolis, we would hear about it.
So Kevin Bowen, 107.5 thefan.com, with his work in Kevin's Corner, and of course the morning show. Kevin and Query, 7 until 10 a.m. Monday through Friday here on The Fan. We haven't talked about this, and I'm not at all going to challenge anybody's sincerity because, frankly, I don't want anybody to challenge mine. I'm on the up and up, and, if somebody is coming out and being sincere, then until I hear otherwise, find out otherwise, I will say, okay, you're being sincere. But the fact that everybody is falling in love with the especially opener of that presser yesterday where he says he failed. First of all, he didn't just fail this year. It has been a complete failure for the better part of 6 years. It's been more than just this year. And while sincere and understandable, I would challenge anybody that was really taken by that and now thinks that this is the future and it's going to work, that he had nothing else that he could possibly say under those circumstances after this past year.
Yeah, I was saying to Jake earlier today, John, it's simply he apologized for doing a bad job. Like, as he should, I would think. I mean, not like I'm the apology police here, but, I mean, if I brought home a GPA in high school of 1.5, I think my parents would expect me to apologize, take accountability for it, all those things. And honestly, maybe because Jeff Saturday took no accountability on Monday for going 1-7 and having the historical losses, maybe Chris Ballard taking the accountability on Tuesday was such a stark contrast. That's why people are reacting to it in that way.
So he really doesn't want him as the next head coach because he completely goes opposite. He kind of leaves him on that island of non-ownership, is what you're saying. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I don't know if I'm going there because I asked him directly. I was like, what does 1-7 mean for Saturday's candidacy or his evaluation? And he didn't want to go down that path either. Chris Ballard knows what he's doing behind a mic. His emotions, oftentimes his body language, I would think are some areas where, he admittedly can't really control, and rightfully so. I remember how pissed he was during the Andrew Luck retirement press conference. And obviously we saw how he looked a couple months ago, during the Frank Reich, Jeff Saturday situation. So, yeah, humility, apology, fine. I'm not going to, swoon him for that. I mean, honestly, my early thoughts during that press conference, John, and was just like, I can't believe this dude is here about to embark on a 7th year as general manager. Like that was kind of my early thought through it of like, if you were to, look at an NFL resume and say, no division titles in the easiest division in the NFL, one playoff win, no direction upward. It's not like you have a young quarterback here in year 6 that has shown you something. I mean, you just had your lowest point as a franchise, and I would argue 2.5 decades, if not longer. And so, when you add all that up, you think about his approach being a bit archaic, in my opinion, and then his approach being, I should say his approach not working either. Offensive line, defensive line, those two areas, especially offensive line, I would say have severely underperformed based on how much you've invested in that. Well, you add all that up, and it's just kind of wild to me that he is now going to get a 7th year, and in all likelihood, this is going to reach a full decade of him being a general manager. And when you look at your GM history and those resumes, that is the steal phrase from Jim Irsay. That's rare. Has Ballard hit on a lot of draft picks? Without question. Do we have an example in our own market of a president GM that has changed their ways? In Kevin Pritchard, certainly. So maybe Ballard will follow that script, but it's just for NFL teams, it's rather unprecedented that he's still here.
He just seems so stubborn in terms of what he believes. That whole square peg in a round hole type of force into fit that I don't know if I buy. He's going to change his thoughts in the way he puts together a team. You?
Yeah, I'm kind of in believe it. I'll believe it when I see it mode with him. You would like to think that reaching kind of rock bottom would get him to, in his words, and it's a word that I've used to describe him before, and he used it yesterday, so credit to him. He called himself stubborn with his approach. I almost think your hand is forced. It'd be one thing, again, if his philosophy was working and if he had, different areas of success he could point to and say, no, see, there it was good, here it was good. The results are the results in a bottom line business, and the results haven't been there. So, when he did answer, and you can sift through a lot of the press conference, and you can probably spin things one way or the other. But I did think when he was asked directly, kind of lay out the mistakes. And the first mistake he said was probably the constant turnover at quarterback. That sort of admittance, I think, makes me think, and who knows, maybe the owner will flat out just demand it. That makes me think that they will finally go in a different direction. The one thing about Jake earlier today that is puzzling to me, John, is, you look at where Chris came from. He came from Kansas City. And in that building, they made the playoffs the year before they drafted Patrick Mahomes. Alex Smith was a very fine quarterback. Andy Reid is thought of as one of the more brilliant offensive minds of modern football. And when you think about Andy Reid and that organization sitting down and saying, guys, we've reached a ceiling with our organization. Alex Smith can only take us so far. We need to do something different. And Ballard was a part of the early process with Patrick Mahomes. It's odd to me that we're all creatures of our environment, of our history, all those things. It's just odd to me that he comes from Kansas City. He's seen what's happened with Kansas City, and yet he's had a refusal to try and do what Kansas City did, and that is trade up 20-some spots to take Mahomes in 2017, and obviously look at what's happened.
Well, I think, to me, you give that Kansas City scenario out there, and I buy what you're saying, but if the Hunt family came down and said, hey, this quarterback's kind of a jackstick here, and you got to get rid of him and get somebody else. I don't know if Andy Reid or anybody else, whether John Dorsey or Pate or any of these figureheads organizationally, would have much of leverage to work this out, because essentially the owner certainly has a great deal of accountability in that quarterback position and how this path has taken shape as well, no doubt.
Yeah, and again, it's a little odd to me that Jim Irsay signed off on it, in that, you think about his time as general manager, and again, you would know this far better than I, but it was a lot of quarterback turnover. Certainly an attempt with Jeff George, a big attempt, but he saw what happened with the revolving door, and then he saw what happened when, they achieved quarterback continuity with Peyton and Andrew Luck. And I fully acknowledge Peyton and Andrew Luck are on, and obviously Peyton is on, one far end of the spectrum. To your point, John, I've been a little bit of a head scratcher in that, wow, Jim Irsay has agreed on this. something Ballard said yesterday that I couldn't believe was just, they thought Carson Wentz could have been a 5, 6, 7-year answer. And it's like, man, I know hindsight's 20/20, but didn't Philadelphia tell you everything you needed to know? I mean, Philadelphia's actions from, drafting Jalen Hurts to firing Doug Peterson. Again, they drafted Jalen Hurts before Carson Wentz led the league in interceptions in 2020, yet they knew the writing was on the wall and that they needed to have some insurance. And sure, Frank Reich certainly coaxed Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard into, those two believing that he could resurrect them. But, that was just a huge mistake. And again, hindsight is 20/20, but looking back on it, that is one that took out a first-round pick for you last year and certainly has continued to restrict you.
It's Kevin Bowen with us. We move forward here in the month of March. 33 going to still be playing at a high level for this Pacer team when we hit the month of March.
Boy, it's a great question. The report over the weekend of Mark Stein, in Myles' camp, whatever, saying no for now to the Pacers contract extension. I don't put a whole lot of stock into it. I'm a big believer that deadline spur action, and now we're less than a month away, but that's still a long time for those two sides to potentially agree on something. The one, I guess two areas, John, that make me think, again, I'll believe it when I see it, that Myles signs an extension here, is he changed agencies recently, I believe in the last couple of months. I don't think you change agencies to re-sign with the team you've been with for 8 years. And then secondly, he's never been a free agent in the NBA. And I think that's enticing to him to see what's out there. So that's what makes me think he could and will hit the open market. I would say the biggest calling card of me not being as confident in that as I was a couple months ago is certainly how he's played with Tyrese Haliburton. And I know it's something you brought up a whole lot, and I don't know if you caught any of Haliburton on Adrian Wojnarowski's podcast earlier, but this dude is just wired such in the right way that this market needs, to be honest with you, for their point guard, for their leader. He just gets it. I think Myles really enjoys playing with him on the floor and then off the floor. I think Tyrese is a rather low-maintenance individual, which I don't think has been the case for recent stars here in Indy. So that is, I keep on coming back to, and talking with someone over the Pacers a few weeks back, of be careful what you wish for. And if Myles acknowledges that, then maybe he will say, I've got a pretty good situation going here. I've hit my stride. I've hit my prime, however you want to call it. Let's ride this out a little bit further. But if he thinks this is my first chance, maybe my last chance to really cash in, change agencies, money talks, people that have very little ties to Indiana and know what Indiana means to Myles starts to be in his ear, then we could see him not sign an extension. And as I've said all along, if February 9th rolls around and it's a trade deadline and Myles Turner does not sign an extension, you have to trade him.
And then your season goes right down the crapper. See you later. This magical season ends.
And you know what, John? That's probably the most one of the few disappointing things about this season is I have zero confidence in any sort of backup five. Like, I don't. If you're going to tell me, all right, somebody on this roster, not named Myles Turner, is going to be your starting center for 75 games next year, boy, I have zero confidence in any of them. I mean, honestly, I'd probably say, is Daniel Tice healthy? Like, that's probably the route that I would go. And it's not like the exact comparison because Buddy Hield is such a unique weapon. But if you were to trade Buddy, you could come up with backcourt minutes to divvy up to other guys in the backcourt. Again, none of them are anywhere near the type of consistent every night shooter that Buddy is, but there's at least young lottery pick talent you would want to see more out of. At center, I'd like to see more of Isaiah Jackson. I guess I'd like to see a little bit more Jalen Smith, but I lack the confidence there of having a guy you can kind of pass the torch to that I would in the backcourt. Because how I kind of view the Pacers right now is if you re-sign Myles, the one obvious clear need entering the offseason would be kind of that big wing defender, 6'8", 6'9", the OG Anunoby type. And obviously, if you trade Myles, not only do you need the big wing defender, but you also need to go out and find some sort of five. Because, again, in my opinion, I don't think you've seen enough from the young guys on your roster to make you feel confident about the future there if it's not Myles.
I feel really good about all this. I think I love all this.
I've seen you bask in the glory a little bit on this.
I am basking. There may be some basking going on here. You may see it. Now, I mean, who knows if he, like last time out against the Knicks, he didn't have, I think that was his last bad game. Wasn't a good game. So maybe if that happens tonight, maybe for one night only, my basking will take a pause. But right now, I'm enjoying basking. No doubt.
November 1st, 2023, better chance Myles Turner is with the Pacers or Jeff Saturday is with the Colts?
Myles Turner is with the Pacers. Because I think that they're going to take we just don't know it, or people don't know it yet, a huge swing at Harbaugh here that we don't know. And two things actually from the Colts. These are have-tos. If you're going to try to sell again another 3 years to close out a contract at the very least on Chris Ballard, then you got a couple of absolutes. You got to get your ass up to number one to make sure you can pick from absolutely anything you want at the quarterback position, and you have to have Jim Harbaugh here. Those are two absolutes. Hey, heavy deal. I know. I'm asking a lot, but yeah, you're going to go ahead and make everybody buy your general manager for a 7th year and beyond. You got a couple of absolutes on your plate right now. There they are.
Yeah, I'm probably in the team get to one camp as well. You can't sit on your ass and think they're going to fall to 4.
You can't.
Whoever you think
and you can't be outworked by other teams that also want to get up there, which is also a frightening aspect.
And again, that's the worry about Chicago being up there. I get that Chris Ballard has a lot of connections with Ryan Poles, their GM. They work together in Kansas City. Obviously, Matt Eberflus as well. But, I mean, Chicago can just – if I'm Chicago, I wait till 7:45 the night of the draft. And who's going to give me the Ricky Williams package? I mean, who's going to give me everything to get up here and get that number one pick? Because they have that ability with the fact that they have a guy that they obviously feel good about with Justin Fields.
Get Eberflus some guys off this defense this year. You know what I mean? And that's fine with me. That is the price you pay to get what you believe to be your long-term quarterback asset here. So utilize guys off your roster right now.
Especially if you're going to change defenses. You know, if you're going to make any change, guys on that side of the ball lose some value. I do think, I mean, if I were Chicago, I don't know how I would feel about that. I probably want picks more than I want players, but maybe Eberflus has a little bit of say up there that he can dictate some things.
I think Eberflus may want to go ahead and get the winning going here relatively soon, though, right? Instead of waiting on picks to develop and crap.
That'd probably be well served. Yeah. They didn't. The competitive losses not going to last too long up there in Chicago.
My friend, I appreciate you. Shout out to the fam. You and Jake have a hell of a morning coming up on Thursday morning. So, your dad, mom, everybody okay?
We're good. They would definitely say hey to you. So would my brother. We need to get you back on in the mornings.
Now, you know I love your brother. You know, once upon a time, your brother bought Blake a Gonzaga shirt, and it is still one. My daughter Lainey wears it all the time. It said, "This is home" on the back, and it has the state of Washington and Spokane. That's your brother.
I think it was. And he's probably listening, so he'll probably text me and correct me. But remember when you walk into Finish Line and they would have just all those college T-shirts on a table? I think that's where he got it from.
No, I bullcrapped my kids and said that he went to Spokane and got it.
Work trip to Spokane. Yeah,
he did that just for you. So yes. All right, buddy.
Exactly.
IU better win tonight. Just like my Sycamores are going to win tonight, right? There you go.
Man, that would be quite the warm seat back to Bloomington. NCAA tournament warm seat, I would say, for Mike Woodson. If that were to be a loss.
Yeah, and the former believers will be otherwise. And then you're going to start looking at the Archie Miller start, right, in the Big Ten compared to that Mike Woodson start in the Big Ten. And you may not like what you see, I'm assuming.
And, I get it's road in the Big Ten, and you look at these as kind of luxury games, but you've already lost one at home.
Yes.
To, on paper, an easy team. And if you look at the next, handful of games at home, I mean, you got some tough opponents. So, tonight would be well served for Mike Woodson to win this one.
Kevin Bowen, Jake Query, weekday morning, 7 until 10 a.m. here on The Fan. That is Kevin and Query. Appreciate you, brother.
See you, John.
Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline with Kevin Bowen right there. Paul Corsaro of UIndy, wide open 5 o'clock hour with us all together on anything. It's coming up here at the top of the hour. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
When it's a new year, I like to think about jewelry in a new way. I'm a Shane Company jewelry consultant, and I love how one piece of jewelry can hold so much meaning. It can mark a moment, symbolize a new adventure, or simply remind you of a personal goal. At Shane Company, our jewelry is created with an artisan's eye and a master jeweler's touch. We design it ourselves and offer a free lifetime warranty. With styles in every price range, it'll be easy and fun to find something that's meaningful to you. Have you seen our peach morganite jewelry set in our signature shade of rose gold? It's gorgeous, a reflection of how you'll feel wearing it. The butterfly is a symbol of hope and transformation, and our butterfly necklace shines with vibrant sapphires and diamonds. Opals are believed to promote creativity, and Shane Company opals are chosen for their mesmerizing colors. Come in and try on anything that catches your eye. Find something beautiful that's an expression of you.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Hey, the best out there is Love Heating and Air. That's John and Chris Love. You have to make sure that your system's good to go. These temperatures are going to take a nosedive, and you don't want to be literally left in the cold. Make sure you're in the know with your heating unit, and you get the best making sure for you that they're in the know. That's Love Heating and Air, 317-353-2141. The best in the business. Tell them that I sent you. That's Love Heating and Air, 317-353-2141 online. Love-HVAC.com today.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went. And guess what? It did work for me. You know, my friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety, or weight gain. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works because I'm living proof, and it's 100% guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? I'll tell you what you got to lose. A very bad habit.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking without cravings, irritability, or weight gain. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Don't just cut down, but stop smoking once and for all or your money back. Seminars are 8 p.m. on Thursday, January 19th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville, or 2 p.m. on Saturday, January 21st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Registration is 30 minutes before the seminar. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
Hey, everybody. We've all heard stories from friends and family about something really bad that happened. You're in an accident. There's a painful life-altering injury, huge medical bills, even wrongful death, all from someone else's fault. In fact, some of you might be dealing with that right now, and that's where the attorneys at Parr Ritchie Law Firm can help. It's Tony Patterson, Paul Cruz, and John McLaughlin lead a team with over 70 years of collective courtroom experience and millions of dollars in jury awards and settlements for the clients. Now, none of us can change the past. Just know that Tony, Paul, and John are on your side to help you and your family moving forward. They're recognized by super lawyers and U.S. News and World Report as being among the leading injury lawyers in Indiana. So even if you're unsure you have a case, give Parr Ritchie a call. They'll listen and give you their free experienced legal opinion. 317-269-2509 is that number to call now, or visit parrinjury.com. That's PARR injury.com.
Puccini's 707 locations. Puccini's Pizza Pasta.com. Puccini's 707 locations. Puccini's Pizza Pasta.com.
Founded right here in Indianapolis in 1991 and winner of the World Pizza Championships in Parma, Italy.
Puccini's 707 locations. Puccini's Pizza Pasta.com.
Guys, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low testosterone. So schedule your complete health assessment at Low T Center today. They now offer the convenience of monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatments. That's $155 a month cash pay, or is covered by most health insurance. If you don't live near a Low T Center, or you just need the convenience of the at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy. To get started on treatment, it's only the first 2 visits in person. That's lowtcenter.com to schedule your appointment today. lowtcenter.com. That's Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hank Williams Jr. Are you ready for the contract? Live in concert. It's a family tradition. The Bad Boy. With special guest Old Crow Medicine Show. Alabama women. Saturday, June 17th, Ruoff Music Center. On sale Friday, 10 a.m. at livenation.com. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
Dan Dockage for Affinity Whole Health. Affinity is the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, and I got to tell you, I see why. Since I started a testosterone replacement program with Affinity, my energy, mental focus, drive, everything is up, and the physical benefits are amazing. Check them out at feelgreatindy.com. Guys, you can improve the way you look, the way you feel. You can build muscle and lose fat. Affinity will give you the roadmap. Go to feelgreatindy.com. That's feelgreatindy.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Too late, Dean Vernon Wormer. Kevin Bowen a little bit earlier, Chris Denari a little bit earlier. Pacers Knicks tonight, 7 p. Pregame show right here. That's a tip at Madison Square Garden at 7:30. IU Penn State, 7 o'clock from State College, Pennsylvania. Pre-game show downstairs on 93 WIBC with Tony Katz in the morning, although it's Kevin and Query in the morning right here. Again, 93 WIBC, 6 o'clock with Don and the gang on the pre-game show, and a big one for IU coming up later on tonight on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Back to back to back, they go at home down on the south side off of Hannah Avenue in the inside the top 25 and red hot Paul Corsaro-led UIndy Greyhounds, and the head coach of UIndy is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. How much of this appreciation on this run and this fantastically enjoyable season so far would you lay on the shoulders directly of Michael Burris? A lot? Much?
100%. As you know, he is the brain trust of the organization.
He is. And you know what? With all those brains out of Eastern Greene County, we may not have a lot left down there right now. So we're hoping to add more.
Toughness to you. I know he's really off his toughness to you for giving him buckets and all those open jumps.
Did he ever tell you about us playing pickup 2-on-2 on Sunday mornings when it's like 95 degrees inside of the Hyper? Did he ever with me and him and Mark Barnheiser of Lafayette Jeff and his brother Justin? You ever tell you those stories?
2-on-2 full court, 95-degree gym, 5, 6 in the morning, and you guys would go for, hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I lost literally like 25 pounds, I think, just by doing that. Full court, 2-on-2.
Yeah, we can't do that today.
I'll be honest with you, though. I have played, because of Mark Barnheiser's influence, I have played a great deal of full court 2-on-2, and then even at the Baxter YMCA, full court 1-on-1 in the mornings where people would walk by working out and say, "You guys are nuts." So yeah, we are. We're nuts.
Well, I love it.
Yeah. Hey, talk about your team right now. Inside the top 25, that's awesome, and on a nice little run. What has worked so far, and the success? Is it what you expected to this point with this team?
Yeah, well, I appreciate you having us on to showcase the kids. We got a really good group, and we're top 25 in both coaches and media poll. Not really trying to focus too much on that, just trying to focus on the next game, obviously. But we have a four-game home stretch coming up, and really just encourage Indianapolis fans to come out and watch. It starts tomorrow, then Saturday, Monday, then the following Saturday. We got the reason that we're having such success is we have just a really unselfish group. We play 11 deep. They just care about winning. They play good defense. They share the ball on offense. Just a great group of guys that, on Saturday afternoons, if you don't have anything better to do with, young kids, these are the type of guys you want your youngsters watching.
Well, and there are so many notables here locally. Like, I was going to ask you how my guy B. Nickerson is doing for you guys right now. There's another Center Grove product, a local kid that obviously a lot of people already know a great deal about already.
Yeah, Ben's doing great, and he's one of the kind of those unsung heroes. Ben, hasn't been the guy that, is averaging 20 points a game, but we would not be 12-2 without Ben. I was talking to people this morning about how our road win against Drury over the past weekend, Ben comes off the bench, plays 10 minutes. It's kind of a tight game, but he drives middle late in the shot clock, driving kick 3. We get an AM1, so a full-point play. But that play by him to get the bucket busted it open, and we were like plus 12 or 13 in his short time on the court. So guys like Ben that, hey, are just bought in. And, we've had 11 guys score double figures at points this year. So it could be anybody's night, any given night, and guys are really bought into that.
Now, leading your team scoring-wise is another local notable in Jesse Bingham playing at a high level this season, too.
Yeah, Jesse's a beast. I'd be lying if I didn't say that I think he's the best player in our league and, one of the best players in the country. He's so versatile. You can drive it, he can shoot it, he can post it, he can defend 1 through the 4. His assist numbers are up. He's just a really well-rounded kid, but it's because he works so hard. And then he's just like Ben and all of our guys, he's a quality young man as well.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, too. If when you're obviously wanting to get people and come out this 4-game homestand to watch you, if you like offense, like we all do, because if we say we love defense or like defense, we're really lying. We all love offense. So you guys put up some numbers on a game-to-game basis.
Yeah, we're really starting to. And we have been pretty solid defensively, from start to finish this year. But offensively, over the last, 4 to 5 games, we've really, really started to hit our stride. And, the best way to describe it is, like we like to say, and this is a Burris-ism, we share the sugar. We definitely share the ball, and we get the best shot possible every possession. And with that, when you're as deep as we are, we're kind of a hard scout, I think, because we have multiple guys that can go for double figures. And I think our ball movement, our pace at which we play, and just having the depth, we can come at you a lot of different ways.
So Paul Corsaro is the head coach of UIndy. As he mentioned, 4 straight games down on the south side off of Hannah on the University of Indianapolis campus, beginning coming up tomorrow evening, 7:30. That is against Missouri S&T. A little bit about that squad. And then, if you will, I know a big one on the 14th. You got a top 15 team in your building, and that's a large one on January the 14th. A little bit about these 2 consecutive games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Tomorrow, Missouri S&T is a very, very good team. They average, talk about offense, they average 87 a game. They're leading the league in scoring. They're top 15 in the country in scoring. They have 4 guys that average 12 or more. So we better be on our best defensive efforts tomorrow. And, they're 4-2 in league, really, really good opponent. And telling our guys, we need to be focused on S&T. We don't need to be focused on the top 25 matchup that Saturday. Now, that's all well and good, and we'll focus on that when we wake up Friday morning. But right now, all our efforts and emphasis is on Missouri S&T. But when we do wake up Friday and stuff, that's, UMSL, Missouri St. Louis, that's the short version for their school. They're a really good team, top 15, top 25 matchup, and, that'll be exciting too. They actually are the team that beat us in the GLVC championship game last year. So we've had some good matchups with them, and I'm sure it'll be a good one again.
Hey, Paul, you getting out of this group what you expected to get out of them to this point?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, the big thing with this group is I've asked them, hey, our mentality is we just got to keep getting better every single day, no matter what we're doing. Let's just get better, keep getting better, because I think we have a really talented group, and their work ethic, their attitude, couldn't ask for much more, and it's fun to see it all come together.
Hey, did you ever lie to Wantz and tell him that you love playing defense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I only cared about offense in high school. There's no doubt about it. And then when I got to college, I realized I wasn't that good at the college level. I actually had to play defense to get on the court. So Wantz is probably thinking, man, I wish you would have cared on the defensive end back at Roncalli like you did when you were at UIndy.
Oh, man. Telling you. I love it, though. I mean, just a great place to go watch a game as well. And 4 straight inside the top 25. And it begins coming up tomorrow night on Indy's South Side with UIndy. Their head coach, Paul Corsaro, is with us. I love talking you up. You know how much I love basketball. And really, we reach folks also. We have a lot of like-minded folks that love basketball as well. And you guys, the product and the environment down there is just awesome, especially for the younger kids that are developing into those basketball fans.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. And that's what we're trying to build here is, the kind of like the family atmosphere game on the South Side on Saturdays. And, we play on Thursday nights too. And I think people really enjoy coming to watch the local flavor on our team. And, funny thing is, John, I saw Brent Nickerson today. He said he saw you the other day at the Center Grove game, and we think you ought to come out on a Friday and do your show from Nickerson Hall.
Oh, yeah,
that's a heck of an idea.
Yes, that's a hell of an idea right there. Now, I don't know. I spent 1 year down there. We may have to check and make sure I'm still allowed on campus. I'm not quite sure.
Lunch is on me if you come do it.
That sounds like a plan right there, though. But seriously, it is a great place to watch basketball. I mean, it really is. And the brand that you guys are playing, especially with the local flavor around here too. I love how you recruit, because that becomes a specialty, does it not? At that level, to make sure that you're covered each and every year with everything that's going on, and it's probably something that takes a little bit of time and effort to find out exactly what your path should be.
Absolutely. We want to build from the inside out. Now, not saying that we're not going to go out and get the guys from out of state or out of country if they fit what we need, but we're going to build our foundation in Indianapolis and then, build out through Indiana. We got a kid from Fort Wayne, Carroll, David Eja on our team, transfer from St. Francis up in Fort Wayne. So that's still inside out, in my opinion, and Indianapolis, Indiana based. And then once we build that foundation, we'll be able to see, okay, whether it's positionally, whether it's skill set, or whether it's class balance, where are the holes we need to fill? And that's when we're going to go out of state, out of country to fill out the rest of the roster. And I think we've done a really good job bringing in the right mix.
Well, no doubt about that. Paul Corsaro is the head coach of UIndy. 4 straights on Indy's South Side beginning tomorrow night at Nickerson Hall. That's versus Missouri S&T and number 11 Missouri St. Louis on the 14th. 16th Maryville and McKendree in town on the 21st to wrap up 4 straight at home, a team inside the top 25, and certainly worth a substantial look. Paul Corsaro and the gang at UIndy the Greyhounds, and Paul's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Congratulations on where you are right now. Keep that thing humming, and let's check back into this Friday night on the South Side type of deal.
All right, sounds great, John. You have a great week.
Hey, tell Burris I said hey.
Will do, bud.
Thanks. It's Paul Corsaro on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Michael Burris is his assistant. Michael Burris used to be the head coach over for a long period of time at only Central Community College, JUCO, and he is from where I'm from, Owensburg and Eastern Green. UIndy's head coach, Paul Corsaro. Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. 5 o'clock hour is wide open. I would love to hear from you. We'll reset some of the stuff we're talking about, including the Pacers and the Knicks and IU and Penn State tonight. That's and you and me. Other side next.
Indy's number 1 for new country.
I got some famous friends.
Nobody plays more new country. 97.1 Hank FM.
The Butler Bulldogs host Villanova this Friday and Creighton on Tuesday the 17th. 7 p.m. tip-off both nights. Visit butlersports.com/buy tickets and get to Hinkle for Big East play.
Doing more in the community means that I get out and I volunteer.
Hi, I'm Hannah Yeagerbush here at Teachers Treasures, and we nominated David Barabee because he's such a great volunteer leader. He does so much for us to make our mission possible to serve teachers in Marion County.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Jennifer Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are rewarding Hoosier volunteers who use their vehicle to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
My vehicle really allows me the ability to be where they need me. Either downtown, at the store, or out on a route, or working for the mobile operation.
Each month, Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides a volunteer free vehicle maintenance for a year, whether it's someone who delivers smiles and supplies or drives somewhere to serve on site. Jiffy Lube supports local givers who count on their car to do more for Indy, and we love to hear their stories.
If you know a volunteer who impacts your community, nominate them today to receive a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Just click the Do More tab at JiffyLubeIndiana.com.
People who suffer from arthritis are getting real pain relief with exciting biologic therapies at QC Kinetics.
The success rate is there, and there's no better way to treat yourself when it comes to dealing with pain.
Meet Tyler Vale, co-founder of QC Kinetics, who says they can't cure arthritis, but they can treat the pain.
If you think of the tide coming in and out on the beach and what it does, it erodes the sand, right? Can't stop the tide, but eventually when the sand or the beach gets bad enough, we backfill that beach with sand so that we get generations of enjoyment with that beach again. And the same thing happens happens with your knee or your shoulder or your hip or your back. We want to backfill the problems that have happened to this point. I'm not stopping the tide, so I'm not stopping the arthritis, but I want to get generations of enjoyment out of those joints again.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Learn more about how restorative biologic therapies can get you real and lasting joint pain relief.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
Hey Indy, Tim Piersont here, founder of Chattanooga Whiskey, the only Tennessee high malt. Try Chattanooga Whiskey 111, the unfiltered 111 proof bourbon with notes of chocolate-covered cherries and rich caramel. We hope you love it as much as we do. Drink Chattanooga Whiskey, enjoy responsibly.
Hey, it's Dan Dockage for Affinity Whole Health. Guys, do something for yourselves. Go to feelgreatindy.com. I'm on a testosterone replacement program with Affinity. Let me tell you, the benefits are amazing. Go to feelgreatindy.com. That's feelgreatindy.com.
Hi, guys. It's Mark. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, January 11th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain the spark in your bedroom, today is your day. Call us now, and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is an unprecedented offer worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. Call 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today, Wednesday. 317-552-1111.
There's more at Four Winds Casino South Bend. More games, more winning, more fun. The expanded gaming floor at Four Winds Casino South Bend is now open. 27 table games, 1,900 of the hottest slots, 16 live poker tables, and endless winning possibilities. And coming early 2023, Four Winds South Bend Hotel. Find your game at Four Winds Casino South Bend, your entertainment escape.
The Pacers head to the Big Apple to face the New York Knicks. Tonight at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Pacers Knicks tonight right here. Downstairs, WIBC. That's 93.1 WIBC, IU and Penn State. It is really good to see this. So 3 hours ago, on the Twitter handle of MLB, MLB.com, and thank you, Brandon Reef, for the heads up, breaks out their crystal ball and predicts the next 10 World Series matchups. The next 10. Interestingly enough, 2026, the Mariners and the Cardinals. 2027, the Yankees and the Cubs. And I don't know if I'm still going to be around at this point. They have the Guardians and the Reds in an all-Ohio Series World Series prediction for 2032. So, Reds fans, 2032 it is. All you have to do is wait until 2032. That, according to MLB.com, that is classic right there. 2032. Joe writes this. Where can you hear an interview with the coach of the UIndy Greyhounds? That's Paul Corsaro, by the way. 1075thefan.com. That will be up there. I'm sure James will get that up there shortly. Matthew's going to lead on the other side. Full hour of me and you. Finally, something regarding Jim Harbaugh and interest in and interest from the Colts. From somebody that's known. We'll get to that coming up on the other side. More of the Pacers-Knicks matchup tonight. IU Penn State as well. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Don't go anywhere.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Your home for Indy sports. Now with even more ways to listen.
Listen on air.
Online at 1075thefan.com.
And on our free app.
Stay connected to all things Indy sports, including the latest news, show blogs, and catch up on what you've missed with our podcast.
We're never more than just a click away.
Download our app at Google Play and on the App Store. From your home for Indy sports.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today. Based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
Turn up the heat with a bowl of brisket chili or green chili chicken soup to celebrate National Soup Month at Twin Peaks. Plus, get ready for the Twin Peaks Big Game Pre-Promotion January 12th. Show up early, cash out quarterly. The first 100 fans to show up for the big game on Sunday get a free square for the chance to win a Twin Peaks gift card at the end of every quarter. Plus, every fan scores free chips and queso just for showing up. Contact your favorite store for more information on availability and offers.
Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Today on Hey Culligan, reverse to reduce. Here's Bob.
Hey Culligan, I love fresh water, but I got plastic bottles coming out.
Whoa, Bob, you are not kidding about the bottles. But did you know Culligan's reverse osmosis and always-on drinking water systems provide fresh, clean, delicious drinking water and help reduce the equivalent of over 15 billion plastic bottles from landfills worldwide?
Holy, fresh, environmentally friendly drinking water. Am I right?
Right, Bob. And we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
At Eskenazi Health, our patients are treated with compassion and skill. That's why Eskenazi Health is looking for professionals who share our mission and are dedicated to serving the community. As an employee of Indiana's top hospital for social responsibility and community health investment, you'll enjoy excellent benefits, competitive pay, and unwavering leadership support. Learn more about Eskenazi Health careers online at eskenazihealth.edu/careers.
Everyone knows that in Indiana, game time
Here's a deep three. Haliburton
means family time.
He's got family in Kokomo. That might have been from Howard County.
The Atlanta Hawks come to town this Friday for Lucas Oil Family Night. Family Night tickets start at just $20 and includes a Pacers hat, hot dog, chips, and small Pepsi product. Get your Family Night tickets at Pacers.com/family. That's Pacers.com/family. Pacers, Hawks, Friday at 7.
Experienced commercial HVAC technicians, plumbers, and sewer and drain specialists, listen up. Vasey Commercial Facility Solutions is seeking new talent. Do you feel energized, fulfilled, and appreciated? If not, improve your life in 2023. Realize true work-life balance with full benefits. To learn more, call Vasey Commercial Facility Solutions at 317-873-2512 or visit their website, vasey.com. That's VASEY.com.
Hank Williams Jr. Are you ready for the contract? Live in concert. It's a family tradition. The Bad Boy. With special guest Old Crow Medicine Show. Alabama women. Saturday, June 17th. Ruoff Music Center. Need a party and I was born to boogie. On sale Friday, 10 a.m. at livenation.com. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis. The Pacers head to the Big Apple to face the New York Knicks tonight at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Well, you're going to have to say that. You're going to have to speak up because I can't hear you.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Paul Corsaro, UIndy head coach. Kevin Bowen of the morning show, Kevin and Query. Chris Denari, Bally Sports Indiana voice of the Pacers. All a little bit earlier in the podcast, 1075thefan.com is where you can find it. The Houston Texans requested permission to talk with Sean Payton. He cannot formally interview with any team until January the 17th. That's courtesy of NFL Network right there. And it was ESPN's Jeremy Fowler who stated earlier he's hearing that the Colts job is the one that Harbaugh wants. It was a small report that I talked about a little bit earlier with Kevin Bowen, but it's kind of interesting because you hadn't really heard anything whatsoever about it. But it was embedded. It was right there, and it does state from Jeremy Fowler that the one job in the NFL, and this is my word, not his, that he covets, he being Jim Harbaugh, is this one. Nothing around here, but that was something from Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. Maybe we should reach out to him and see if he can talk a little bit more extensively on that. Or see if he can tell us to get bent. One of the two. I'll take either one. I'll get bent or get some information. And by the way, Landon Oliver is the guy that sent that out a little bit earlier. Landon Oliver has, I think, a podcast, 3-Man Rush podcast, and at @blue_stable. Seems like a swell dude right there. Landon, thank you very much for that tidbit. That makes me feel good because you know who I want as the next head coach here. If you're going to continue on with your general manager into a 7th year and beyond, then give me two things. Give me the head coach of Jim Harbaugh, and then go out and get yourself, by whatever means necessary, the number 1 overall selection. And make sure that you can get the quarterback of your choice for the future. Don't screw around with it. Do it. It's funny. So, friend of the show, Drew Storm, the former Major League Baseball player, once upon a time, got his education courtesy of Stanford University. Had just actually sent me a text, and he said, I interviewed Harbaugh for a sports journalism class back in college. I asked him to describe his coaching style, and he said, quote, the Shawshank Redemption. You got to crawl through the blank to get where you want to be. You have me, Harbaugh, at Shawshank Redemption, quote. And believe me, there is no NFL pipe that is more clogged full of foulness like Shawshank Redemption than this one right here. Perfect. Thank you, Drew Storm. That is absolutely a perfect analogy right there. Because you would have to crawl through a lot here. Crawl through a lot. I'm for it. Absolutely for it. Seaberg says, boom, search over JMV. Back up the Brinks truck for Harbaugh. The Manning curse suggests give me Jim Harbaugh or give me death. Mike McCann writes this, I'm with you on Harbaugh. It's a perfect fit, but if the Colts go another direction, I do want Ben Johnson. He's the offensive coordinator of the Lions. Colts fans should be pumped about pairing a young quarterback with an innovative offensive coach. Number 4 offense this year with Jared Goff under center. C. Fitch writes this, and I do remember this too. The Colts reportedly offered 2 first-round picks for Derek Carr prior to trading for Matt Ryan. Will they come knocking again? Don't even mention it. Spencer with this, you're 100% accurate, JMV. If you're going to sell 2 to 3 more years of Ballard, you have to get Harbaugh and trade up to get number 1. Hey, just give everybody that. I always state it's easier said than done, and I know it is. Hey, JMV, what is your choice moving up to number 1? I'm sure you have The thought in my quarterback, C.J. Stroud. I do also like Bryce Young. Don't get me wrong on that, but C.J. Stroud would be my quarterback, and I don't care what quarterbacks from Ohio State historically have done. I don't give a crap. But I like him. In this draft, I like him more than I like anybody. Who knows, though? They may love Will Levis. They may love somebody else that's further down on the draft. But you're asking me here, Shane, and thank you very much, who I like. That would be it. Matthew is at 239-1070. Hello, Matthew.
Hi, JMV. How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for holding on. I had to tell James to make sure you didn't stay on hold for a couple of hours there, so thanks for calling back.
No, that's all right. Boy, isn't that Derek Carr 2 first-round picks report frightening? Can you imagine if they would have did that?
They offered that. Yeah, that's pretty scary, no doubt.
That's horrific. Yeah, no. I wanted to touch on the them potentially moving up and the head coaching candidates. I'll start with them moving up potentially. What do you think of this? Number 4 this year, 2 this year, our second-round pick. Next year's first, a second next year, and Buckner. Do you think the Bears accept that, and would you do it?
Is that blowing the Bears away right there? Yes, I would do it. And I like DeForest Buckner a great deal, but it is so essential that you have your choice of whatever quarterback you like. And it may not be what I like in C.J. Stroud, but it is so important to get up. And again, I guess I'd be inclined to say this. If it's one of those two dudes, you have to do that. So, yes, if it secures your quarterback of the future, whether it is Bryce Young or whether it is C.J. Stroud, then you do it, right? I don't know if I would ever believe in Will Levis at that level. If you feel you'd have to get up to get that, meaning somebody else might get up there and get him before you, then so be it. But execute a deal that gives you all the options. Play from in front for once. That's all we're asking.
Yeah, no, they have to move up because if they don't, somebody else
will, no doubt.
They're gonna be stuck with Levis, and he puts mayonnaise in his coffee, so I don't think they want him.
Wait. Will Levis puts mayonnaise in his coffee?
You heard me correct. Yes,
what's the deal with that? What's the enticement? Because I'm like, I do dig some mayonnaise on a sandwich. Not a lot of people do, but I do. What's the mayonnaise in the coffee thing? That's the first time I've heard that.
I cannot tell you. It sounds disgusting to me.
It does sound nasty.
But going to the head coaching search now, I do think that Irsay wants Harbaugh, but I am terrified that if they can't get him, he's just going to force Ballard to hire Saturday, and that's really frightening to me.
Well, Chris Ballard's not hiring Saturday. Chris Ballard did not want, and will not want Jeff Saturday. If Jeff Saturday comes back, that is solely Jim Irsay's hire.
Yeah, that's what scares me. He's going to make the final call. Also, you seem a little lukewarm on Ben Johnson, and I don't really understand that because, I mean, when you put up damn near 40 points every week with Jared Goff at quarterback, that's got to excite you. I don't know. I mean, I would take him happily.
Well, I don't know. And listen, I'm not trying to at all diminish the accomplishment of that with either he nor Aaron Glenn. But I get juiced by Harbaugh, not so much about Ben Johnson, but he may end up being something great, and he has been fantastic this season with that offense, no doubt about that. But it is Harbaugh for bust, I should say, for me right now.
Yeah, I would love him here too. All right, that's all I got. Appreciate you taking my call.
And Matthew, anytime. Did I just hear this correctly? Did Jeff Beck just pass away at the age of 78? Is that new news here? I hate that. Jeff Beck, among the most innovative and certainly the most unpredictable of 60s guitar heroes, has passed away at the age of 78. Now, you talk about guitarist, he is there at the top of the list. Beck brought formidable instrumental firepower to British band the Yardbirds, which he joined back in 1965 as a replacement for Eric Clapton. Obviously working a great deal with Rod Stewart over the years. Yeah, during the 70s, Beck assembled a second, more R&B-oriented edition of his group. Briefly formed a short-lived power trio with bassist Tim Bogert and drummer Carmine Appice. That was Vanilla Fudge. Vanilla Fudge is the song that plays in the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood film. At the end, when Brad Pitt is kind of stoned and the Manson people break in to do everybody in that house, and he's cranking up the radio. Vanilla Fudge is what's playing on the radio there. Keep Me Hanging On. Yeah, it's too bad. Jeff Beck, no doubt one of the greatest guitarists of all time, has passed away at the age of 78. 239-1070. Line 2, Daryl's on board here. Hello, Daryl. How are you?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Fantastic. Go ahead.
I just think that Harbaugh, the only way that he'll come here is Ballard's gone. I just don't think those two could work together. Just knowing Harbaugh's personality, I think Harbaugh's going to want total control, and I just don't think it's going to work with him and Ballard.
Man, you think about Chris Ballard, being, outdone, in decision-making by owner and head coach. I know, hey, Daryl, I know that it sounds outrageous. I just think that he, beyond anybody else, is perfect for what this team needs all the way around as a head coach right now.
I would love to see him come here, but I just don't think it's a good mix with him and Ballard working together.
Yeah, I can certainly I can hear that argument because I've tried to make it make sense to me, and it doesn't. So
the other problem I have is that if they're going to go down and get the first pick or second pick to get a quarterback, they need to bring some people in here he's got to work with, because they don't have a number one wide receiver. You don't know if Taylor's going to be back. He's got to have some weapons, or that youngster is going to get hurt.
Well, he's definitely got to get. You got to get another viable option, veteran-wise, at wide receiver, and this means a certain change in philosophy from the general manager, who's getting an extended period of time here that he doesn't deserve.
Don't you think the kid from Kentucky would be a better fit here?
I've been unfair on this, but when I've watched him play, and it has been a handful of times, it has been not impressive. And again, it's in the SEC and once against Georgia, but watching him play against Georgia and understanding that he does not have anywhere near the firepower with him as Stroud has at Ohio State at his disposal, he didn't look good. So, I mean, maybe that's something I should factor in more, but I've mentioned regarding my assessment of him, I have been unfair because when I have watched him play and he's playing at Kentucky, he has not looked anywhere near as good as when I've seen Stroud play, and especially Stroud against Georgia.
One more thing. It's good to hear you back on Saturday night. I haven't had a chance to call in yet, but it's good to have you back on Saturday night.
Thank you, man. Well, I'll be looking for you, Daryl, coming up on Saturday night because it's a hell of a lot of fun.
All right, brother. You have a good evening.
You too. That's the guy, Daryl, right there. Ben in Greenwood says, what if Harbaugh tells Jim Irsay that the only way he comes is if Ballard goes? Well, you know how I feel about that. Sorry. But this is from David. I asked the question about mayonnaise and coffee, and he retweets somebody named Curtis Rogers back on July the 20th of 2022. I'm the furthest thing from a coffee snob, but sorry, the Seahawks absolutely cannot draft Will Levis after he admitted to putting mayonnaise in his coffee. There it is. He is stirring mayonnaise in his coffee. Do I put that in the same category as how I answer to those that believe that C.J. Stroud is either a product of his incredibly talented offensive environment at wide receiver, and that, historically speaking, Ohio State, they do not produce high-level NFL quarterbacks? And I say, you know what, just take that out. I don't care. Do I take this out as well? Mayonnaise in your coffee in terms of Will Levis? Because it seems to me like in the SEC, in the matchup against Georgia where you watched him and he was ineffective, and some other games where you watched him and it didn't seem like that he should be anywhere in the neighborhood of a top 10 quarterback selection in the spring draft, I feel like that I'm being a little bit unfair eliminating him for mayonnaise in the coffee. Is that unfair as well? Yeah, I don't get it. That's gross. All right, 239-1070. Todd is next. Todd, welcome to the show.
Hey, John.
Hello, Todd. Good to see you the other day. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow, right?
Different part of town. I mean, I live out that direction, but I got some other
Pearl Street.
Yep.
That is up in the Geist area. I had no idea until last week there was a Pearl Street location with great pizza, incredible breadsticks, and more in the Geist area. But we're going to be there tomorrow.
I don't know whether you ever made official declaration on this, but congratulations. The JMV Fantasy Football League, the Commit Blue Light Specials ended up winning the first place in the league, and all the glory that goes with that. I believe the producer, formerly known as Kyle, took the bridesmaid, and I ended up with the bronze medal in third place. So
Nicely done. It is winner take all. So the winner of that, and I think I've heard from our Pick'em League, so a bar restock from Heaven Hill Distillery is on the way for our winners. That's what we play for every year.
I'm going to make Halverson give me a pint of Elijah Craig or something.
Yeah, I don't think he'd have much of an issue with that. I think he'd be down with it.
Consolation prize. Hey, I don't know the answer to this, and maybe you can explain or do know the answer. So Frank Reich gets fired mid-season. Jimmy Irsay, there's a buyout contract. By the way, I need one of those jobs where I get fired. I continue to make millions for several years going forward.
Pretty sweet. Yeah, sweet deal it is. Yeah.
But let's say hypothetically he signs with the Carolina Panthers. Is Irsay still on the hook for that money? Is he getting paid by Tepper and Irsay? Because that's the best.
I believe it fades if you get hired someplace else. So yes.
Okay. Put you on the spot. Quick question: Tim Robbins film, Shawshank or Major League?
Oh, Shawshank. And not Major League, but Bull Durham is what you're talking about. And I love Bull Durham.
Bull Durham.
I love Bull Durham, but Shawshank is right up there in the rarefied air of those that I love. So again, it's not going to be commonplace to find anything that I believe with anybody in there that's better than the 1994 classic Shawshank Redemption. So, by the way, I believe Shawshank, Pulp Fiction, and then something else all came out back in October of 94 on the same day.
And we're in theaters at the same time?
Yeah.
Of course, you weren't there.
No, I was. I was still going in 94. I saw Pulp Fiction in the theater, and I was overwhelmed by the theater dialogue. I had to watch that 900 different times. That's why I watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because I've got to watch it so many times to make sure that I get everything that's going on because there's so much yapping.
Yep. Hey, catch up with you soon, buddy. Have a good afternoon, okay?
Todd, thank you very much. Willie is next on line 4 at 239-1070. Willie, welcome to the show.
John, how you doing, buddy?
Willie, I could not be better. Thank you for asking. Go ahead.
Good. Hey, so several callers, and I've seen online, where a lot of people are concerned about some conflict that might happen between Jim Harbaugh and Chris Ballard.
Yeah.
And that it might actually inhibit Harbaugh from coaching the Colts. And I think it's quite possibly the opposite. So, Jim Harbaugh teams, whether, he was with San Francisco or Michigan, they're a power-running team. They don't really have newfangled offensive schemes like the Chiefs or anything. They just want to ground and pound. They want to run the ball hard, straight at you. They want to get the play action going. And what is it that Chris Ballard really values? Strength in the trenches. Now, this year, he had a hiccup and made some bad personnel moves, but historically, he puts a lot of stock in the offensive and defensive line. So I think, from a personnel standpoint, they could get along just fine. And to go one step further, his coaching style, you got to crawl through the blank to get where you want to go.
Right.
Well, where does all the blank happen? Right there in the trenches.
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of it to spread around here, too, right now. So
You ain't lying. And that was a great analogy by you, sir.
Thanks. There's plenty of it. Well, give credit where credit is due. That's Drew Storen, former major leaguer, who went to Stanford and is much smarter than us all. So credit where credit is due.
Hold on.
You got it, Willie. Thank you for the call. You do it anytime. Yeah, again, the reason why we brought up Harbaugh is, A, that's who I want to be the next head coach. And B, because Landon Oliver, who does a podcast and follows the Colts, had tweeted out a bit of an article from ESPN from Jeremy Fowler. And it had an interesting bullet point for those of us that are on the Harbaugh bandwagon. As follows. One official from a team searching for a head coach believes Harbaugh wants the Colts job. No word yet on whether Harbaugh plans to speak with Indy brass, but the connection is obvious from the former Colts quarterback. So again, one official from a team searching for a head coach believes Harbaugh wants the Colts job. And that was a bit from Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, and I do believe that is the first time we've heard anything in relation to the Colts and Harbaugh. And believe me, I'm not sitting here wanting this to be a pipe dream. I think this is the perfect fit, and it is a must fit. And you may end up, Ben Johnson may end up being great. Aaron Glenn may end up being great. Second time around as a head coach. Raheem Morris may be great, but that's who I want for this team. Right here. That is it. And who knows what's going to happen in L.A., too, with Sean McVay. Some other stuff will probably happen we're not even thinking about right now. Bob Borden writes this. So I forgot to tweet this out on Saturday night. Here's a really feel-good for the host of the show. I was trying to listen to the JMV takeover, and my wife changes the station. And changes the station to 97.1 Hank FM. I told my wife, you just changed from the JMV takeover. He plays good 80s music. My wife's response, who's Jay who? Oh, my God, make a guy feel really special on a Wednesday. Thank you very much, Bob. Tom is next at 239-1070. Hello, Tom.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. Go ahead.
I was going to call you after the Steelers game. I called you a few times before, but I couldn't do it because there just wasn't anything that made me feel good about talking about the Steelers. But here's my question to you.
Yeah.
So last year, everybody said picking Kenny Pickett was a reach.
Yes.
So all I'm going to ask you is this question. I'm going to play devil's advocate for Stroud and Young. Is it that potentially you're thinking of these folks? It's the end of the night, and there's only a couple of people to dance with. Is it maybe we're getting bar goggles? And it may be that they're the best players out there, and you know.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, maybe beer goggles, or normally I would call that 115.
I hear you.
When it got 115, it was scramble mode, brother. It was. But no, I get what you're talking about. But I think most people felt like a year ago, wasn't Kenny Pickett the best quarterback? At least in terms of what the Steelers could get.
Right, and I think the other thing is that listening to all of and I listen to you and whoever that lady is that doesn't know who you are, man, that dude needs to get a different spouse.
Sure,
there. That's crazy because man, I will tell you, I've said this before, but you are a godsend to this.
Oh man, that's very nice of you to say. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I mean that. You are a person who you feel good listening to you. Unlike a lot of other things where everybody's negative all the time. And yesterday you were kind of saying the same thing. And I'm with you on the Pacers, man. Those guys, go get them.
Yeah, no doubt. And we'll see what happens in New York tonight, but it has been fun to watch. And I would say this, like I was talking about yesterday, it is incredibly necessary for a fan base around here that has just been beaten down from losing and negativity. So ride this thing until it bucks you is what I say.
I agree completely. I just want to say how much I appreciate you. And so here's the other question I got for you. In retrospect, if you had the choice, and I'm going to give you three. I'm going to give you the Field, Kenny Pickett, or Jordan Love. I've never heard of anybody talk about Jordan Love. I don't know if he's even a possibility, but he's sitting around not doing anything.
Okay, the Field, Kenny Pickett, or Jordan Love in terms of?
If you had a chance to draft, and obviously you're high on Stroud, so maybe you
right. I would take the Field over Kenny Pickett and Jordan Love at this point. Plus, Jordan Love is going to be different. He's like 3 or 4 years deep, so you're going to spend a lot of money on him if they do decide to trade for him, because he's going to be due a new deal moving forward. So I would take Jordan Love out of the equation entirely. And to me, at the top of this field, I would like the top of this field more than I would like Kenny Pickett.
That's cool. I understand. Yeah.
I may be wrong, too, but that's and by the way, Kenny Pickett, it was at the top of the list of quarterbacks a year ago. So this is different. It's not the most robust quarterback class we've ever seen. And a lot of people certainly like what's coming out, next year, certainly. But at the same time, to me, those two guys are at the very top of the list. We'll see how that shakes out after the combine and, those private workouts and pro days and stuff. But that's how it stands now.
All right. Well, I appreciate the time, brother. Take care.
Tom, you call anytime. Quick break and we shall come back. 239-1070 is the number. Me and you rest of the way. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Culver's could have only started in Wisconsin.
Hi, welcome to Culver's.
Just ask our team member, Sarah.
When you order a Culver's Butterburger, you're never just a customer. You're a guest in our home. See, where we come from, people do right by each other. It's why we cook each Butterburger to order just for you, right down to getting the perfect sear on the beef. That extra care may be a small town thing, but it's big time important to us.
Come on in and let us serve you with a smile that stretches from our hometown to yours. Welcome to Delicious. To everyone who appreciates a fresh meal that comes from the heart, let our team member Emma tell you what's special about the Culver's Way.
We take great tasting burgers seriously in Wisconsin. Favorite recipes, fresh ingredients, real Wisconsin cheese. It's a place where traditions matter. So of course it's where Culver's Butterburger was born. Fresh, never frozen beef, seared to perfection, then topped with a lightly buttered toasted bun.
What can we say? To us, it's a whole lot more than a burger. It's a taste of home.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Hey, John here for Andy Moore. Buick GMC 131st State Road 37. It is in Fishers. Got you covered on the set of wheels of your choice. I'm telling you, the best car buying experience possible. You guys remember the day when your grandparents just consistently went to the same place? They knew the people, loved the people, always got those great deals, and they kept coming back. You rarely see that today, other than Indiana's best. And that's Eric Wilson and Andy Moore Buick GMC. Check it out today, the brand new GMC Acadia, and ask about the Elevation package. I promise you'll love it. A great deal, and the service after the sale is unmatched. Ask for Eric Wilson today at Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
Doing more in the community means that I get out and I volunteer.
Hi, I'm Hannah Yeagerbush here at Teachers Treasures, and we nominated David Barabee because he's such a great volunteer leader. He does so much for us to make our mission possible to serve teachers in Marion County.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are proud to support Hoosier charities that use their vehicles to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
My vehicle really allows me the ability to be where they need me. Either downtown, at the store, or out on a route, or working for the mobile operator.
Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides all of our Do More winners with free vehicle maintenance for a year. Because now at Jiffy Lube, our trained technicians do more to keep vehicles like theirs and yours on the road. Brakes, tires, batteries, and more. As well as Indiana's favorite oil change since 1985.
Jiffy Lube accepts competitors' coupons, so you don't have to choose between saving a few dollars versus treating your vehicle to Jiffy Lube's award-winning service. Click on JiffyLubeIndiana.com for a Jiffy Lube near you.
Hey, JMV, and I have a great idea for you. And I've had a similar idea and a similar plan. And I want to go with the best, and I'm going with Gedham Associates. So 2023, is that going to be the year where you finally get something done with your home, either on the interior interior or exterior, that's what I'm going to do, and I want to go with the best, and that's Get 'em Associates, and so should you. We're talking kitchens, baths, screen porches, and more. Anything that makes where you live 1,000 times better than what it is right now. And we've all talked about this over the years, and we've never really been motivated to do it. Now's the time with Jason Gedham and Gedham Associates. 35 years of experience serving Central Indiana, the best at what they do. I'm going to have them in my home. You should too. Let's make our living spaces the best it can be with Gedham Associates. Online, that's Gedham.com today, GETTUM.com. Tell them JMV sent you.
At Diamonds Direct, we want to make something very clear. We will absolutely beat the price of any comparable diamond that you find anywhere else. No fine print, no disclaimers, just a rock-solid, unqualified nationwide price guarantee. And this goes for 1-carat diamonds as well as 15 and 20-carat diamonds. You see, at Diamonds Direct, we're more than just another jewelry store. We're part of a world diamond powerhouse with direct access to the world's top diamond mines. We have our own diamond cutters too, so we are active in every aspect of the diamond market every single day, from source to showroom. So when you see a diamond somewhere else, online or in a store, or from some so-called supplier, just know that apples for apples, you will get a better price at Diamonds Direct. Our volume, our connections, our buying power make this possible, and it's why we've never ever lost a sale due to price. So at a time when value means so much, we invite you to take this challenge and let us prove it. Day in and day out, you will always get a better quality diamond at a better price at Diamonds Direct. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Online at diamondsdirect.com.
Hey, fellas, need an annual health exam for work, or you just want to prioritize your health this year? I recommend Low T Center to get your complete health assessment. They check all your levels, not just testosterone, and typically completely covered by most health insurance. And if you're not insured, it's less than $100 for full labs and an office visit with the provider. Low T Center specializes in men's health, making it quick and easy. That's lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
Hi, welcome to IKEA and our winter sale. Hi. We've got hundreds of offers on everything from storage solutions to...
I'm sorry, did you say hundreds?
Yeah. Check out our offers on shelving and desks.
Ooh, what about mattresses?
Yep, those too.
Dressers? Sofas?
Yes and yes.
I think I need a bigger cart.
Our winter sale is almost over. Visit us in-store or at IKEA-USA.com/offers to save through January 22nd. Offer dates may vary. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. See store and IKEA-USA.com/offers for complete terms. Restrictions apply.
Experienced commercial HVAC technicians, plumbers, and sewer and drain specialists, listen up. Vasey Commercial Facility Solutions is seeking new talent. Do you feel energized, fulfilled, and appreciated? If not, improve your life in 2023. Realize true work-life balance with full benefits. To learn more, call Vasey Commercial Facility Solutions at 317-873-2512 or visit their website, vasey.com. That's VASEY.com.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight guaranteed, only $49.99. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick. This hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars Thursday, January 19th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking 8 p.m. And Saturday, January 21st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop smoking 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Shop the winter savings sale at your local Grand Appliance to save hundreds on top appliance brands. Visit grandappliance.com for complete details. Grand Appliance, the appliance expert since 1930.
It has no beginning.
The start of something special right here, man. Let's go.
And no end.
Look, you got to get your team ready to play.
It is a constant.
Get a rhythm going.
Through every season.
Come back again.
It is always Colts season. Firing, hiring, free agency, the combine, the schedule, the draft, OTAs, minicamp, training camp, kickoff. The offseason questions is a season to be answered for this Colts team. The best Colts coverage is on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
And the beat goes on, yeah. And the beat goes on.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Pacers next tonight, 7 o'clock pregame, 7:30. That tip from Madison Square Garden. Vic Barks inside the lounge via YouTube Live says, what's really scary is how the Colts continue to regress. That's what the scary discussion should be. And I'm interested in your take. this has to be rock bottom, right? Is there anything more rock bottom than what this season has been? So when I first read that, Vic, that's the first thing I thought of, is this has to be it. You can't be any worse, can you? Than a 4-win season and just the mounting embarrassment at the tail end of this season? I mean, a year ago against Jacksonville, there is no doubt that was an embarrassing loss. You were planning to go to the postseason, and you were 2 weeks prior, probably the most excited you had been about this team in a long time, certainly during that season. But this season felt like swimming through a half a mile of blank-smelling foulness I just can't imagine. Sounds like Shawshank. So this has to be rock bottom. Dakota's at 239-1070. Dakota, welcome to the show.
Hi, what's going on?
I was thinking of Dakota Fanning, but you don't sound like her.
No, a little bit opposite.
Go ahead.
More like the state.
South Dakota, you definitely sound like. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just calling in to see if what your honest opinions are that if the Colts do not trade up from the 4th seed, are we going to get C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young?
I would doubt either. They're sitting here right now, and again, I will tell you this: things could change. They may change. Viewpoints may change. Maybe somebody falls in love with somebody else, and it is dependent upon some of these teams that would also like to move up to grab a quarterback, just how in love they may be with somebody. But no, I can't tell you sitting here right now at number 4 for the Colts, they don't get either one.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, and so
because somebody's going to move up. Somebody's going to move up. Chicago's going to trade that, and then somebody that wants a quarterback is going to move up, and then you're going to have that team select a quarterback. More than likely, either Young or Stroud, or Houston gets Young or Stroud, and that'll be that.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at with it. Now, do you take a different quarterback, or do you move on if you don't get one of those?
Well, this has been my thing. I don't care who it is right now. But if you hard target your quarterback and it takes you getting up to number 1 to make sure you have the best option of securing that person, then do it. I think it'd be great if you can just sit there at 4, this thing that you really like, if that quarterback slides to you, that's great. But, yeah, that sounds like a great deal of good fortune that this team has not had very much of over the years. So I wouldn't count on that. I would count on having to motivate and get your ass up there and make sure you have all of your options available to get what you want.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I guess on the plus side, though, for Indiana sports, for me, at least the Pacers are looking good.
Yes, you get them against the Knicks later on tonight. Hopefully they continue to look good at 7:30, that tip time from Madison Square Garden. Dakota, thanks for the call.
Yeah, you have a good one.
You got it. Not Dakota Fanning, who also, by the way, was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Squeaky? Did you guys know that Bruce Dern is in that film, right? And he's actually been on the show before. I want to say, not this one. It may have been the other one. It's whenever he did the film Nebraska. I think he won an Oscar for it. And oddly enough, I got Bruce Dern on, and I talked to him for a good 45 minutes. I can't remember if it was here or if it was someplace else. But in the film I'm talking about right now, he plays George Spahn of Spahn Ranch fame. But Bruce Dern was on the show. We talked at length about the film Black Sunday. If you remember, it was a thriller based upon the Super Bowl and a terrorist trying to shoot darts from the Goodyear blimp during a Super Bowl. Seriously, this is straight out of the 70s. And when we talked about that, he said, you know what, I don't even like to bring that up anymore because I don't like to talk about blueprints for such tragedy, is what he said. But he was incredible. We talked about his film Tattoo and a bunch of other stuff. It was awesome. Bruce Dern. Dave's up next at 239-1070. Hello, Dave.
Hey, how you doing, John?
Great. Go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to bring something to your attention.
Yep.
I know it's kind of out in left field, but I was kind of curious about a college coach. If we want to pursue a college coach, to go after one that actually is really good at picking good talent and developing that talent. Kirby Smart.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that dude is going to go anywhere, and I wouldn't blame him. And you know what? I sound hypocritical, and here's why. Because there's no doubt he is a good coach. I just don't think that he's going. Like Lincoln Riley seems like a possibility at some point moving up. But Kirby Smart, to me, at Georgia, just doesn't. Now, I will tell you, part of my argument for Jim Harbaugh not wanting to still be at Michigan, his alma mater, and the success he's had recently is because all of these things you have to deal with as far as football is concerned, whether it's NIL or the transfer portal, and maybe he wouldn't want to jack with that anymore, and certainly he'd want to go back to the NFL. It just seems like that Kirby Smart is in the absolute perfect place right now, and you talk about what that team is going to be going for a chance to go back to back to back next year. That's pretty special. So those are a couple of reasons why I wouldn't consider that reality.
Yeah, I agree with that analysis. I just was kind of wondering if the Colts pursued him. You know, maybe.
Yeah, I think to me he is going to be where he is going to be, and that's in Athens.
Okay, buddy. Well, thank you,
Dave. You call anytime. Thank you. But again, I do recognize that it's hypocritical of me saying, well, Harbaugh would leave because of the way that college athletics are going right now, and then not say the same, because you can factor in maybe not even so much having to deal with NIL because all the money in Georgia, but certainly it's prominent, it's prevalent, and it will come with that high level of success. But they have to deal with the transfer portal, and then think about what they lost a year ago from defense alone and rebooted that thing right back up. Hey, JMV, I'm bummed about the news of Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck, by the way, the great guitarist, passed away earlier today at the age of 78. I've listened to him for over 50 years, and he's on my Mount Rushmore of guitar players. He was one of the most innovative guitarists and just finished a tour with Johnny Depp. What is that? Was he, is that Vampire? What is that? Hollywood Undead. Is that who Johnny Depp's group is? Anyway. That true? Hollywood Undead?
That's Hollywood Vampires.
Hollywood Vampires. There is a Hollywood Undead. I was close.
Yeah, they're like a rap rock group.
Yeah, I got my head got locked up between Vampire Weekend, the Hollywood Undead, and Hollywood Vampires. So, yeah. Now, my little brain just cannot handle all that. He also launched the career for many female musicians who have played with him in the last 15 years. My wife and I saw him 3 times this past summer and fall, and now we're glad we did. Deeply bummed. That's Mike in Beech Grove on the passing of guitarist Jeff Beck today at the age of 78. Justin's next, 239-1070. Hello, Justin.
Hey, JMV, how are you?
I am great. Go ahead.
Hey, before I get to my 2 points that I want to get to, I just want to caveat off a couple callers ago how great the show is.
Oh, man, thank you very much. That is very kind, Justin. Thank you.
It definitely makes having to drive on 465 every day at 5 p.m.
I don't know how you do it, brother.
Much more bearable.
I don't know how you do, especially on the northeast or east side, but go ahead.
And it's night and day compared to some other guys that have been on this station. And I won't say any names, but it does rhyme with Stan Jokic. I will say that.
Cool, go ahead.
Point. Why don't the Colts or even other teams even consider, and I know given the ACL injury, Hendon Hooker from Tennessee?
I would say that at the top, and he's also like 24 years old, right? He's a little bit older.
Right.
Yeah, so
but you got the Packers who are going to assuming are going to rely on Jordan Love, who's
right.
I
listen. That's maybe somebody that they like. I'm not sure, and I know that I'm sure they've seen a number of these guys, but I know that they've seen Levis a bunch of times, scouted him up as well. So I may be. This is just me with Stroud and how much I like Stroud, and 2 reasons why I think maybe maybe Hooker wouldn't be, I don't even know where he's going to end up going. Is he going to be a first-round pick? Or is he going to fall second, third? Where's Hooker going to go in the draft?
I'd be surprised if he falls out of the first. I don't think a lot of teams are going to look too much into the ACL, especially given that here shortly the NFL is going to go to no more turf, which has been suspected to cause a lot of these ACL injuries.
Yeah, I'm just pretty hardcore right now. And again, I'm subject to change because we really haven't seen anything other than the season and the season end. But we'll see how it goes here in town in February with the combine and other aspects of it to see if these things maybe shuffle the deck of these guys. But I loved what I saw from Stroud, and especially what I saw from Stroud against Georgia. So I love it.
I'm on boat with you. That's been on the back of my mind is Hendon Hooker's kind of falling off the back burner. But hey, real quick, my second point. Want to kind of get away from Colts. That's all we've been talking about. Colts. How excited are you? I know you're a Reds fan, but to see Tuck behind the plate for the Cubbies.
Oh, I love the Cubs. You know that, right? Big time Cubs fan. I'm excited. I just told him that I cannot play. I absolutely hate the song "Go Cubs Go," so I can't play that when he comes on the show. I just can't do that. I loathe, that's right up there with "Paradise" by the Dashboard Light as sucky songs of all time. I hate it.
Hey, John, I appreciate it. Keep it up.
Justin,
I look forward to it every day.
That's very kind of you, brother. Thank you, Justin. "Paradise" by the Dashboard Light. Maybe the worst song of all time because it sucks. It's a rock opera, and it's about 9 years long. And the only thing that may be worse is "Go Cubs Go." Quick break. We'll come back, see if we can squeeze in more calls on the tail end of the show. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
So, the other day, I bought an extremely chatty...
Boring story time!
Make that an extremely catty cockatoo.
You're welcome!
Apparently, the pet store won't take it back. But, hey, I'll manage.
I love that for you!
Just like I manage without home internet.
No, you don't!
Sure, my mobile hotspot is slow and makes streaming shows unbearable.
Aw, Bertie likes to stream!
But I'm making do. Oh no, who's this?
My lady friend! It's mating season, duh!
No home internet? It's not that bad.
No, not there!
It is that bad. Don't settle. Switch to Xfinity and get one line of unlimited mobile and home internet together for $50 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit your local Xfinity store today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account, equipment tax, and fees extra. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes of data usage. Offer ends 3/21/23.
Hey, it's John here for Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing. Love them. Absolutely love them because I've got all these projects around plumbing-wise, too. Still more to do in the basement where I'm going to call on the expertise, the greatness of Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing. But this time of year, when it gets cold, like when it's been below zero already, and you're sweating your pipe situation and hope that they don't freeze, if something happens and all of a sudden you find yourself in a plumbing emergency, you've got this number handy and you know somebody out there at the highest level has your back. 317-927-7186. The expertise in plumbing of LD Smith Plumbing. 317-927-7186 online. It's ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Hey, Indy. Tim Pierson here, founder of Chattanooga Whiskey, the only Tennessee high malt. We all want to know what craft really means. The definition of craft bourbon is Chattanooga Whiskey. Our people, our recipe, our bourbon. We spent years perfecting a style of bourbon that no other distillery can make except for Chattanooga Whiskey. We call it Tennessee High Malt, and it's the dark chocolate to every other bourbon's milk chocolate. So next time you want something truly craft, drink Chattanooga Whiskey, enjoy responsibly.
Helzberg Diamonds presents The Guy Who Did His Homework. When it came to Jill's engagement ring, Brady knew exactly what to get.
Okay, so I came up with a design and showed it to all of our friends.
She'll love it.
Then he went to Helzberg. Their incredible selection of high-quality, lab-grown, and natural diamonds made creating that special ring easy. Her reaction?
I love it. Can't wait to tell everybody.
Everybody might know about it.
Be like Brady. Create the ring of your dreams at a Helzberg near you or at Helzberg.com. Ask now about special financing offers.
Turn
up the heat with a bowl of brisket chili or green chili chicken soup to celebrate National Soup Month at Twin Peaks. Plus, get ready for the Twin Peaks Big Game Pre-Promotion January 12th. Show up early, cash out quarterly. The first 100 fans to show up for the big game on Sunday get a free square for the chance to win a Twin Peaks gift card at the end of every quarter. Plus, every fan scores free chips and queso just for showing up. Contact your favorite store for more information on availability and offers.
Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hi guys, it's Mark. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, January 11th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain the spark in your bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is an unprecedented offer worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. Call 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today, Wednesday. 317-552-1111.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
The Ride with JMV.
Coming up, our conversation.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Rod Stewart and Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck passes away today at the age of 78. Bobby and Joel, you guys get the pass coming up tomorrow. Remind when you call tomorrow, James, that you are on hold at the end, and you will get at the front of the line on this show tomorrow, guys. I apologize for that. Front of the line for Bobby and Joel coming up on tomorrow's show. Pearl Street Pizza around Geist in Fishers off of Oleo. That's a Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna Azul Tequila Shots with our betting analyst Brent Holverson. Super Wild Card Weekend Extravaganza. Locks and Shots coming up on tomorrow's show. Let me see you. Pearl Street Pizza up near Geist tomorrow in Fishers. Remember, IU Penn State downstairs, 6 p.m. your pregame, 93 WIBC. Pacers and the Knicks right here, 7 p. pre. Tip time from Madison Square Garden, 7:30. Full reaction and much more coming up tomorrow at 3. Go Trees!
It's Kevin and Query.
The overall reality.